Yeah, I saw it. Sorry, guys. Yep, little teeny weeny problem. I had it all set up, and I forgot that one of my settings on the main board was off. So when I first hit go, there was no audio, no guitar, no nothing. So I scrambled over, and I had to wait uh, for 2 minutes. You have a window each minute to hit the button, so I had to hit the button. I apologize, guys. So what's everybody doing? I have got so much. Well, we did so much today. It's crazy, actually, how much we did today. Um, well, first, we'll start. We put a new exhaust on Linnell's motorcycle today, so I got that finished. That was something that's been sitting here for about a week, and she's been chomping at the bit to get the exhaust system on the bike. So I got that done. I got to put the pick in my mouth and grab the hot cocoa. Thank you, honey. So I got the exhaust on the bike, and of course, we on every Saturday I go to my local music store. So we found something there that I really had no intention on buying. I had seen this thing there last week. Someone had brought it in, just wanting to get rid of it, and I did take a look at it, and I didn't really think anything of it. And then when I went in today, they asked me if I saw the guitar last weekend. I said, "Yeah, I saw the guitar," and they said, what'd you think of it? I said, "Well, it needs some work." And they were like, "Well, we were going to try to fix the guitar and put it up for sale." And I said, "Well, have you fixed it yet?" And they said, "No, we haven't touched it." And I said, "Well, go get the guitar, and I'll make you an offer on the guitar as it is. Of course, they'll get a little bit of money because they took the guitar in." And I looked over the guitar, and we ended up purchasing it. But that's only really half the story. Um, I will say that this is when we looked up the serial number, this particular guitar was made in the Fujigen factory, and it was made in 1992. So I'll let everyone guess what it could possibly be. It's a Fujigen manufactured 1992 guitar. It does have a floating tremolo on it, and it is a humbucker, single humbucker setup on the guitar. So the next thing that we saw there, Linnell saw, and I had already kind of worked out a deal on the broken guitar, and she had went up to me and, ah, you know, how do you, I, when she first come up to me, she saw a guitar there. Uh, she don't say this. Now this is twice in like 2 months. She's never really jumped on guitars, guys. She really hasn't. She's had this Firefly over here for years, just playing that Firefly. So when we saw the Chapman, she was like, "I like that guitar," and we bought the Chapman. So today she come up to me and she was like, "I like that guitar over there." And I went over and I looked at it, and I had looked at those models before, and didn't really think too much of it. And then I went to pick the guitar up, and it was so light. Uh, the guitar, I haven't weighed it yet. I figured I'd wait till the live stream and we'd weigh the guitar. This guitar is stupid light. Um, and I didn't think anything of it. I just went over to the owner and I said, "Well, if we purchase two items, the broken guitar and this guitar, what kind of deal can you work us?" And they worked us a good deal. So we ended up purchasing one broken guitar today and another guitar for Linnell. So since this is a guitar channel, I just want to play just a couple notes. can't get over this guitar here, guys. I made payments on this thing for like 2.5 months. I forgot how this guitar plays. I mean, when you look at it, you really don't expect it to do what it does. It does not. This thing really plays nice. I can't get over this thing. Every time I pick it up, it just, maybe it's the shape, and you just don't expect it to do what it does. But this thing, it really makes me tilt my head when I look at it, and I look down, I'm like, this guitar should not do what it does. But it's just, I don't know. Well, we'll see. Sometimes you get that when you buy a new guitar and you're just in love with it for 2 or 3 months. A guitar will speak to you over time. And I've bought other guitars, and you're like, wow, this is the greatest thing since sliced cheese and bread and steak. And you're like that for about 6 or 7 months, and then you kind of move on. So we'll kind of see what happens. But right now, this guitar is really getting it done for me. I'm really liking it. Well, one, it's an obnoxious color. Everyone knows I'm into obnoxious colors. But again, this is, if you missed last week, this is why I bought this cord. No, So now I can quietly unplug my guitar. So let's get into, I guess, first, what Linnell saw at the store today. Does anyone want to make a guess at what she saw? Granted, she saw the Chapman last time. This guitar was far cheaper than the Chapman. A really inexpensive guitar. I was really surprised. I mean, like I said, I had played them before, and I knew that they were good instruments. But when she come up to me and said something to me about it, it kind of caught me off guard. Now I know she's been evidently playing here while I'm at work during the day more than normal. She said Jerry's got a question. If you had to compare the neck profile, what would be more comfortable, Les Paul or a Slim Taper D? You know, Jerry, I used to like really thin necks. Like my PV Nitros, they're pretty thin. I always like the Ibanez Wizard necks. They're pretty thin. I was always a thin neck guitar player. Now, this Kramer here is a little thicker neck than my Nitros. And it's a thin neck. So the Vandenberg is a thin neck. My Night Swan is a thinner neck. Or I'm going to say probably 21 millimeters up here and maybe 22 down there. I mean, Ibanez kind of hard because they throw the term wizard neck on pretty much all their instruments, and they do that because I guess they have royalties or they've got a copyright for that name. So when you see the term it has a wizard neck, they have like 3 different wizard necks on thickness. I like the medium one, not the super. They've got one that's like super thin. That feels a little thin to me. I guess what I'm trying to say is if I pick up a Gibson 50s or an Epiphone 50s that has the real chunky neck, when I first pick it up, I'm like, wow, this neck is chunky. But after I play it 5 or 10 minutes, I like it. I like the chunky neck on the Les Paul.
Devastator says his Rev Star is like a thinner Les Paul.
Yeah, this Rev Star here has I would say it's a little thinner than the 60s Les Paul, but it's thicker than this Kramer neck. So I'm going to guess, I haven't mic'd the Yamaha Rev Star, but I'm going to say that this Yamaha is probably 22.5, 22 millimeters up here, and it might go to 24 or 23 down there, and that's a complete guess. That's based on feel. And the profile of the back of the neck can change how that thickness feels. Sometimes I'll play guitars, it's like, wow, this is a thin neck. And then you measure it, and it's 22 or 23 millimeters up here. It's the way they've rounded the bottom side of the neck will make it feel thinner. Really, Jerry, it's up to you and your playing style. Since I started doing YouTube, I would say it's helped me because I've gotten it's helped me in some ways and it's hurt me in others. You guys have heard me say if you want to play professional, pick a guitar and play it. Learn that scale length. Learn that particular instrument like the back of your hand. That way, when you go down, you fret your high notes. It just becomes an extension of your hands. And for that instrument to become an extension of these little guys, you've got to play it. You got to play it. You got to play it. The more seasoned you get, the quicker you can adjust to a different profile on the back or a different scale length. And you guys have seen me make mistakes. I'm nowhere near perfect. If I switch scale lengths or I switch, to a thicker neck, it takes me a little while to adjust, usually 10 or 15 minutes. And I still may miss fret, especially if you go from 25.5 to like a 24. It just takes some adjusting. Jerry, it's really what you like. I mean, her Les Paul over here, it's a Firefly. The neck on that guitar is on the chunkier side. I'm going to say it's a little chunkier than a 60s, but not as baseball bat feeling as the 50s Les Pauls. But I like that guitar. I like the way it plays. My Epiphone Dot, that's on the chunkier side. I like that guitar. A lot, a lot has to do with how the guitar speaks to you and what it brings out of you. If I pick up my Nashville Telly, that neck isn't super thin, but it's not chunky either. I would just say it's medium. But that guitar brings a certain playing status out of me. I pick it up and I want to play X through that guitar. I mean, I'll still play my hair music and stuff like that through it, but I find myself playing more jazzy or blues hard rock. I'll rock up more jazz or I'll rock up blues when I'm playing it. If I do clean, then sure, I'm all about the sevenths, the power chords, anything jazz oriented. It makes me want to do that. So it's really up to you. That's why if you guys see, I mean, I do it in the reviews. I'll give you my comment, but I know the reason there's 50,000 different guitars out there is everyone likes something different. Um, just because Joey down the street, Joey bag of potatoes down the street doesn't like thick necks doesn't mean you shouldn't try it. Exact same thing. I used to say for years, why would I ever buy a Telecaster? Telecasters are for country music. And just Thursday night, I believe it was Kurt Inscale made a comment, now that sounds like a Tele. Well, I'm an 80s guy, so I had the tone turned back, and that guitar's pickups, it will do a very wide variety of sounds. So I had it set up, and it sounded great doing the high gain distortion, but when I pulled the knob up, I turned the tone up, it sounded like a Telecaster.
Ted said, "What's up, Joey? Bag of potatoes. Checking in."
Yeah, Joey bag of potatoes. Everybody does that. I got that. I believe that's Bongino show I used to watch. I think he works for the Secret Service now. I think that's where I got that from. He used to do it. Joey bag a sack of potatoes over here. I used to love that show. Very right wing show, but that's fine. Bongino was cool by me.
Jerry says, "Okay, next question. Will you make a tutorial on replacing a neck?"
Would I make a video on replacing a neck
Yeah.
on a Les Paul? That's tricky because you've got to get the glue joint to come loose without damaging the body. I've only done that once or twice in my life, pulled set necks and separated them. I did do a repair where the glue had failed, and but I don't really mess around too much with the set nets, if that makes sense.
He just said on replacing a neck. He didn't specify.
Yeah, a set neck guitar is a completely different
He said,
animal.
no, a
Yeah, a bolt-on neck. I was thinking about getting a bolt-on neck for that Squire, but I just never did. The big things you got to look for, Jerry, when you're doing a bolt-on, you got to make sure that the neck pocket in the guitar is going to work with that particular scale length down here. Okay, like this Kramer, you see how the fingerboard sticks out to get that last fret. So the neck pocket isn't doesn't go too deep into the guitar. So if you run into an issue where you set the neck in, you need to measure from your nut down. You want to take a saddle, put it in the center position, not all the way forward, not all the way back, and you want to measure from the center of that saddle up. And you need to be right around whatever that scale length neck is, whether it's 24.75, 25. Now, if you're a 16th off, let's say you're at 25 and 7/16 or 9/16, odds are you'll have enough adjustment in the saddle to get that right. If you're that close, go ahead and put it together and then tune the instrument and try to set your intonation. If you find that one is, maxing out one way or the other, you may have to go in and do something with your neck pocket. But if you're doing something conventional like a Strat, there's 50,000 companies out there. If you tell them the year body that it is, they know the offset for the pocket, so you can order a neck for a guitar.
MCU said we need a tutorial video on switching to a different neck, Avery.
We can do that. It'll be a while because trying to think of a guitar that I would have here. Because after playing the Squire, I see Ted did come in, and after playing the Squire, I don't think that I wouldn't change the neck on that guitar. I wanted to put a Fender Stratocaster neck on it, and the Strat and the Tele neck is different in the pocket. And I can't remember, one is rounded, one is squared. So you can put the rounded neck, the bottom part of the neck down here where it's radiused, okay? You can put that one in the one that has the square pocket. But you can't put the square neck into the rounded pocket. And I just can't remember which is which. I think the Telecaster is squared off. So you can't put the Strat neck in the Telecaster pocket without machining the neck a little bit. I think that's correct. I could. It's one way or the other. I can't remember which way it is. But one has a square pocket. It's not as radiused. So the more radiused neck in the pocket you can fit in the other body because it clears. But it doesn't work the other way around. You have to radius the backside of the neck. So yeah, we can. I'll find something. I'll pick up a used guitar that's just beat up or something, and we'll try to. Or if someone has one that they want to swap out the necks on, they can send to me, and we'll do a tutorial video with that particular guitar. I'm fine with that. It's free labor if someone has one that they want to swap necks on. Send it to me. I won't charge you nothing. We'll make some videos on it and send it back to you. But as far as what was purchased today, does anyone have a guess yet on what this Fujigen 1992 Fujigen might be? And I gave you a good guess. It's Fujigen. So Fujigen, what did Fujigen make? Anybody? If no one has any suggestions,
They're talking about how to get their names highlighted right now.
I've seen that happen. How you highlight your names in the chat. There's a trick. I don't know how to do it. Yeah, I don't know how you do that. I've seen that where it comes yellow or something or highlights. Well, let me show you what Linnell picked up. Where's it at?
In a chair.
It's right there in the chair, guys.
Jerry said a Charvel.
That's a pretty good guess, but it's wrong. But it's a good guess. Anybody else got a guess on what she saw today? Anybody? I'm gonna gradually poke the neck out. Right there is part of the headstock. You should be able to tell already what it is. Sneak it out a little bit more.
Ted said a Telecaster.
I've never seen a Telecaster with a pointy headstock.
Kurt said a Strat clone.
Strat clone. This guitar has been cloned. A lot of companies have cloned this guitar, but this is not a clone. This is from the
Devastator said Ibanez.
Devastator got it.
He said Iceman.
Yeah, it's an Ibanez.
Juke said Ibanez.
She picked up an Ibanez. Look at the top on that thing. I think she likes the flame maple tops.
Kurt said Iceman.
You know, an Iceman's a cool guitar. I've never played one, but looking at them, they're a really cool guitar.
Jerry said Ibanez.
It's an Ibanhad. That's what I call them, Ibanhad. But look at the headstock. I like that flame top on the headstock. I have not plugged this thing. We didn't even plug it in. I put it on my knee and I literally strummed a couple notes on it. I'm like, sounds okay to me. So let's plug this thing in. And these aren't, I don't think, very expensive guitars. I don't think that it's not like this is a premium, or this is one of Ibanez's probably $350 guitar, something like that, new. And she got it dirtball cheap. So let's see what this budget Ibanez can do. It doesn't say anything. It doesn't say RG. It doesn't say, what's the budget line that they have?
G10.
It doesn't say, it just says Ibanez. I have no idea. Close enough for government work. Sounds all right. That's a neck position. Let's go. Oh, it's got a three-way switch. So this is our second position. Up to our center position. sound bad. Let's go up to our fourth position. It's a nice sounding guitar. This is our neck position. Sounds pretty good for a $200 guitar. She finds these things, and I go, wow, how come I didn't see that? That's what I'm saying. Sometimes take a friend or your girlfriend, and then you can live precariously through them. Isn't that awful? This thing plays stupid good.
Look on the back of that sign. Does it say?
It says this is a 1P06 made in Indonesia. It's an RGA 42 FM.
It's an RG.
So it is an RG. If I can get it into the camera angle here. Now looking at the neck, it does have a shiplap joint, a scarf joint right here. But this is one piece. Scarf joint here. And the tuners don't feel horrible on it either. It has nice, the tuners don't feel like they got a lot of slop on them. That's what I started this channel doing a lot of Firefly stuff. But now, if you can pick a guitar up like this for $200, I mean, which would you rather have? Okay? I'm not saying anything bad about Firefly. Firefly, you guys know, I've bought some Fireflies and they're just phenomenal instruments. But if you're wanting to get something that you know that you can get your money out, as sad as that sounds, name brands carry weight. And everyone knows Gibson's hit and miss. I mean, I would never buy a Gibson without playing it. But Gibsons hold money. Even if you get a bad Gibson, it's still going to be worth X because it's a Gibson, even if it's a bad Gibson. And until we really get past that, you got to stop and think about it. Ibanez, it's a name brand company. And when I saw the price on it, well, they gave it to us a little cheaper. We buy a lot of stuff there. But when he told me the price, I'm like, sure. I sat down on the floor. I didn't even plug the guitar in. I just tooled around on a couple notes on it. The action is set extremely low on this guitar. It is definitely set up to shred. I'm not really a shred guitar player, guys. I'm not. I can play decent. I'm not a shred player. I watch some of these guys. They're just phenomenal musicians. I'm not that good of a guitar player to shred, if that makes sense. But this guitar it's a shred instrument. It's a good playing little instrument. Feeling the frets down it? there is zero fret sprout. I do feel the sides of the frets, but these frets are better as far as the feel than the Yamaha that I just picked up. And the reason I say that is the Yamaha actually feels like it has a little bit of fret sprout. Like if I go flat on uh, the fingerboard right here, I can feel the edge of the frets on the RevStar. Okay, now I don't live in a super dry climate. I'm in Northern Virginia, so where the guitar was manufactured, it might have been fine. Maybe the neck has shrunk a little bit, but I can feel the edge of the frets. And the Fender that we just did a review on, that guitar as well, I could feel the edge of the fret. Now the dressing on the end of the fret on both of those guitars, it feels okay. But the dressing on this guitar is better than both. Now, I bought this used, so I can't say that that's how this guitar come. Maybe someone did some fretwork on this guitar, but looking at it, this has a matte finish on it. So I'm gonna say whoever bought this guitar never played it. That this was bought for someone, and it was just never played. Because I looked at it, I can't find a dent, a ding, a scratch. And just me playing with it, I'm getting fingerprints on it, and there was no fingerprints on it before. I'm not seeing any scratch marks right here from it, from where it was played. Uh, I would say that this was bought for someone, and maybe a child, mother and father bought it for their kid, and they just never played it, and they just took it in and sold it or trade, or they bought it thinking that this was the one that they wanted, took it home for maybe past 30 days, and then decided, I think I want something different. But it was definitely not played. So it's a pretty cool guitar. And I've never seen, it's got a very wide binding right here. It's kind of unique. It's a very wide binding. So you may have to do a little review on this guitar. It's pretty cool. Sounds good. What do you guys think of it? I'm not even. Oh, we got Time Surfing Alien in here. Haven't seen you for a while. Good to have you back, man. Now everybody else is jealous because I didn't hit the buttons for them. This is for everybody else. I like to see people come back. If I don't see people come back and at least poke their head in the room, then I feel like maybe I've said something to offend them. And if I ever say anything, guys, it's just an opinion. You can ask anyone that knows me directly. I'm a pretty straightforward, honest person, and I will never say anything to anyone here about their particular opinion. That's why we're here. We're here to hear Jupe's opinion, Jerry's opinion, Time Surfing Alien's opinion, Kurt's opinion, whoever's in the chat. That's what we want to hear, because I only have one opinion. We got 16 people in the room recording right now. That's 16 different opinions on an instrument. Together as a group, we can help Devastator if he's looking for a particular instrument. The 16 here plus me, we all come together and we give Devastator the information that he might be looking for. And if we don't have it, I'm sure someone here can point Devastator or whoever it is in the right direction to find what he's looking for. And that's what it's about. That's what I'm shooting for. But just so everyone knows, Linnell has once again picked up a guitar, and this one's dirt cheap, that I am floored with. Now I can't say that you guys can go to your local music. I go every week, and I didn't see this one. Just look at the used section. Just because it's used doesn't mean it's bad. If they wouldn't have told me this was used, I would have swore it was a brand new guitar. Because I can't find anything that tells me that this is a used instrument. Yeah, I mean it's just there's no wear on the saddles. Like I said, I don't know. Did anyone type it in? See what now? If I type it in and it sells new for what I paid for it used, I don't really care. But I'm sure this guitar was probably $299, $350. I'm guessing. I'm gonna say this is. So they have Ibanez. So they're unbranded tuners. So I'm gonna guess this is probably a 299 guitar, new. I'm guessing because it doesn't say premium. It doesn't say any of the Ibanez fancy, but it doesn't say Geo on it either. And that's Geo. I think is their inexpensive line. This one doesn't say Geo, so maybe it is a more expensive Ibanez.
Isn't it G10?
No, it's. I always thought it was G10 too. It's actually GIO, Geo. I think you probably got that from me. I'm like, oh, it's a G10, but come to find out, it's a Geo.
Devastator said his RG 420 PV was 430 new.
This is an RG8 42 FM. Jute. She said $495 plus shipping.
Just talking about my Chapman.
Oh, yeah. If someone wants to type in this model number, it's an RGA 42 FM. The lower number is 1P06, and see what the map price is, not retail. No one sells retail anymore. But it's a pretty cool little instrument. Now, for the next item. Let me find the bag. Oh, and again, you can't, guys. I mean, I like Sweetwater too, but they give me a free gig bag for a used instrument. Now, granted, they have more mark on a used instrument. I get it, but they didn't have to do that. So I got a gig bag with it too. So that takes a little bit off the price of the guitar because I got a Gator gig bag. And the gig bag, how much is this gig bag?
Kurt says $429.99 at Sweetwater.
$429.99? Wow. Okay. Well then we stole this guitar.
2006 or 2007 model. No, that one's a 2009.
This one is?
Yeah, it says '09 on the back. The first two numbers.
Oh. This guitar is an '09?
Yeah.
This guitar looks brand new. I find that hard to believe that this is an '09.
That's what it says on the back.
Huh.
I think, isn't that the one she looked up? Or she looked up yours?
No, mine is a 2000.
Okay, never mind. That's wrong. She looked up yours, not that
Yeah,
one.
she looked up mine. It was Fujijin. It's a 2000.
Yours is a 2009.
2009. Yeah, I think someone else can look it up. Now, does anyone have an idea on what the Fujijin is? Now, this guitar isn't in great condition. It's in good condition. There's some chips in the paint. There is some issues, but I figured, why not? I figured this would be great content for the channel, so I went ahead and picked it up. So I'm going to give you all like 10 seconds to come up with what you think I bought from the Fujijin factory. Oh, I love hot chocolate. I'm going to go grab the case. And yes, the case is semi-broken too.
Kurt said
This is an RG, a real Japan-made RG Ibanez. Fujijin, Japan. So this is one of the RGs everyone talks about. Now the next goofy thing about this guitar, it does have a Floyd Rose. But I never knew Ibanez used the Floyd Rose low profile. This is the only guitar I've ever seen with a Floyd Rose low profile bridge from the factory.
Devastator said, I'll take it, Avery.
And you can see it's filthy. It is filthy dirty. Look at all that dust. There's enough dust on there to plant flowers. And these are Ibanez tuning keys. And here's the back of the neck with the model number, made in Japan. And you can see it's got the Ibanez through the neck locking nut. This is a 3-piece neck. 1, 2, 3. So it's a 3-piece neck. Still has a scarf joint. So it's 3-piece through here with the scarf joint. And I'm sure this is not factory. But it does have some nicks right here in the paint. And I'm pretty sure these aren't the stock buttons. And again, I did not even plug this guitar in and check it. It is filthy dirty, and the strings are black.
Kurt said there goes his Axifex 3.
Yeah, I definitely, I like old guitars. So, but this one is a project. This is, oh wow. So we already have some issues. Like I said, this was bought broken. So I bought this thing as is. So I don't even know if it works. Ooh, I hear something. And the knob just come off. It's definitely not push-pull. No pushy pulls. Let's get down to our bridge position. It works. Second position. Third position, fourth position, fifth position. Let's check the volume. Volume works. Tone works. So everything functions. It feels a little choked. Fine tuners seem to be fine. Now they seem to be more fine than a regular Floyd Rose. Seems like it takes more of a turn to make an adjustment. not going to be able to get that one in tune. It's locked. So it's maxed out right there. It definitely needs strings. These strings have probably been on the guitar since the Dark Ages, but that's fine. You can tell they are just black. But at least everything works. Like I said, this is a Floyd Rose low profile. So this may be a guitar that we fix up on the channel. And well, I'm definitely going to do some work on it. I don't know if this will be a keeper or something that I bought to fix up and resell. So as of right now, I'm going to say it's a bought to fix. These RG guitars are sought after. So I didn't want it to go and just not be taken care of properly. Someone could probably just put strings on this guitar, stick a bar in it, and play it. But I figured it's old enough now, if I go through and I do a really good fret leveling on it and a new dressing, recrown the necks, give it a deep down clean, go through, make sure the jack is like stupid loose, go through, double check all the solder joints, and if I have to go in and remelt the joints to get everything, cold solder joint stuff like that can happen over the years. Just go through, reheat all the joints, make sure the guitar is up to snuff. These old RGs are worth saving. And that's what this is. This is a Japan-made RG. And that was the main reason I bought it. I was not looking for a Japanese RG at all. But the opportunity come, in front of me. So I figure this will be one Ibanez RG that I can save. So I don't know what these guitars actually go for, once they're all cleaned up. But it'll clean up nice. You can tell that it just needs some cleaning and a good go through. So that was our festive day to the music store today. We ended up bringing home two Ibanezes. And what was funny is when Linnell brought that other Ibanez over to me, I said, you do realize if I put that on the live stream that you have now an Ibanez, there's going to be a bidding war on the Chapman. Because now they're going to say, well, you don't need the Chapman anymore. Highest bidder takes all.
Well, Juke already said that since I have an Ibanez, I can just send the Chapman his way.
I figured it wouldn't take long for someone to say that. So that was our visit to the store today.
Mike, you said what Floyd is on it?
This is a Floyd German low profile. So this is a Schaller Floyd Rose low profile. And you can see here's the locking nuts. This is where you lock the nuts for the strings, and back here is where you actually tune it. So there is no ramp up like a Floyd Rose.
Devastator said if you resell it, he's calling dibs.
So look at that one. And then this is a standard Floyd Rose. You can see how the standard Floyd Rose has that big piece back here. See how it's not flat? And then this is the low profile bridge.
Niall says it's not an edge.
Yeah, it's not on an angle. This whole fine tuner section is below the locking nut.
Well, at first he said that's not a Floyd, that's an edge. And now he's asking, is it an edge?
It is most likely, as is not a Floyd, this is the Ibanez. This is an L low TRS trim. So it is licensed under Floyd Rose. So this is most likely made now, this is probably made by Goth, sorry, not Schaller. So this is probably a goth bridge.
No, I was just saying maybe an Ibanez Edge.
Well, the edge is more like the other Floyd Rose. The standard edge doesn't have the lockers here. See where the locking nuts are? So this is definitely based on the Floyd Rose low profile. But it says licensed by Floyd and it says Ibanez. So I think Ibanez is used Goth. That's who makes the Ibanez Edge tremolos. Goth. So I don't know, back in 2000, what they say this was, a 2009?
Yeah.
In 2009, if Goth was making the Ibanez components or not. That would be something someone could look up. But like I said, I got it since it was a Fuji gin made in Japan Ibanez. And everyone knows 75% of Ibanezes now aren't made in Japan. They're Indonesian and China. So a Japan-made Ibanez is really getting skyrocket prices right now. So I figured I got this cheap enough to where I can fix it, and I might be able to, well, if I count my labor, I won't make any money. But I think that I can save the guitar and make a little bit after fixing it. But if you count your labor, guys, that's the key. You really, unless someone is really looking for a guitar like this, it's really hard to get your money back out of them. Now, I'm fortunate on this one. The only thing I think I need right now is the bar. So I'm pretty sure that this is a push-in bar unit. So I know it needs a bar, and I'll have to open it up and see what else. But the locking nut seems like it's tight.
Kurt's telling you it's pronounced Goto, not Goth.
Yeah, Goto. Yeah, I always said Goth. Goto. Yeah, I always say Goth. Yeah, Goto. I think I said Goto before, right? I go back and forth.
You said Goth a little bit ago.
Yeah, I said Goth earlier. Yeah. So hopefully we can salvage this guy. So that's what I picked up today. So if someone's looking for an RG, you know, I found, I think, a pretty good one with a really unique low profile bridge on it. So you guys can hit me up and fight over it. Like I said, I've got too many now, but I definitely wanted to purchase this one since it's a Japan-made Fuji gin guitar. It needed to go to a good home, you know.
Jerry told Kurt, he said he knows Kurt, it's just the Virginia in him, the way you're pronouncing it.
Well, yeah, guys, I live in Northern Virginia now, but I spent many years in South Carolina. And I think you can still hear it sometimes, my southern drawl. Sometimes it'll come out more so than others. 30 years ago, it was really bad. But living here in Northern Virginia, people go, "What did you just say?" And I would repeat it like, "Oh, I'm sorry, a digging iron." He'd say, "I need to go get a digging iron." And they're like, "A what?" I'm like, "A digging iron." They're like, "Can you say that one more time?" And I'm like, "Oh, excuse me, a digging iron." So I have, you know, they literally couldn't half understand what I was saying. I spoke Southern, and when I moved up here, it was completely. A lot of people just said, "Where are you from? You from the South?" And I've noticed that it has disappeared a little bit over the last 30 years living here.
Jerry said South Carolina is nice other than the gnats.
Yeah, it was bad. I lived next to the PD River, and it was really swampy. I lived in Mullins, South Carolina, right outside of Florence and Marion, and it was really swampy there. So a lot of gnats. Like they would just eat you alive. The gnats.
Do you say pop or soda?
You know, I think I say both, but I used to say pop. I don't know. But I think I say both now, pop and soda. Yank. Ah! Oh, that's pretty funny. Oh, that's too funny. Oh, yeah, you know. All right, let me put this bad boy back in the case. So if anyone's interested in it, like I said, I bought it just so it didn't end up getting destroyed. Um, if someone really, really wants the guitar, so be it. But I just didn't. I saw it. I knew it was a Japan-made Ibanez, and it needs the guitar needs a complete fret dressing. The frets are pretty grungy on it. Depending on when I put the straight edge on it, it may be fine. I might fret rocker that thing, and it just needs a light gone over. I don't see really any massive chewed spots in the frets, so it shouldn't be too hard to get it back up to 100%. Polish the frets, clean the tremolo, get a bar for it. So the only thing I know it needs right now is strings on a bar. So a good set of strings, $16. A new bar, probably 30. I'd have to look. I don't know. I've never worked on a low profile Floyd, so I don't know if it uses the same socket as the regular Floyd or Edge tremolo. If it does, we can use a turbo bar on it. And I can get a turbo bar for like $35 with the socket, $32 something. The price kind of goes up and down. So, and a set of strings, and then the rest is just time, labor, and sandpaper.
Devastator said, talk to me after the stream.
Yeah, yeah. It'll be a cool project. Ginger ale. I used to love ginger ale. Now, Ted, I'm addicted to hot cocoa. And my woman got me this. She loves me. She got a little cup. Little things like that, guys. I can't brag enough about my better half. She really takes care of me and thinks of me. When we stop and think about people that do X, there's always someone behind the scenes. Now, Linnell here is not really behind the scenes because she's always in the chat talking and stuff. But you always have solid support. If you got solid support and someone that lets you, experience and do and be creative, you're so life is so much better. I can't even describe how much better life is with someone that cares and gives you support. So, everyone say thanks to Linnell because she does a lot. She really does. Behind the scenes here, she does a lot. She really does. I'll be right now. Is it soda or pop? Now, Niles is going to get pop. I don't care what he says about the soda. That's pop. Oh, yeah. So that was our day today. And I got Jupe's guitar downstairs. I just started doing the fret piece, and I've sanded the bare minimum off so all the frets are perfect with one another. So now I'm going to start going through and crowning it. And the only reason I'm not done yet. The only reason I did not start crowning the frets is I ordered a new tool about a week ago, and that new tool came in. Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
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 Came yesterday.
Came today.
It came today. So I've been wanting this tool for a while, but it was hard to justify $85 for a fret tool. But I bit the bullet last week and I went ahead and ordered one. This is the Music Nomad crowning file. And just feeling it, this thing is stupid nice. I have not touched a fret with it yet, but just feeling how it feels. Like I've been using a fret guru for a while. I'm on my second one. I love my fret guru, but this little like rubber that's on the side of this, it's very grippy. And the way this is made to be able to get that arc right here and roll, and they've got a sharp angle here.
Birdman says he has one too.
Exact same one, Birdman? I like this. You can get right in right here and do some center fret work. Like you got a spot, you're wanting to really get into that one spot. And then a light crown here with this edge. And it's got two different profiles on it. So I went ahead and got that guy. So now this one does different sizes than my fret guru. So now I have 4 different radiuses up here, this radius. I have 4 different files now, which opens up more of a variety for me. I was using my Z file and kind of moving the file back like this to get different radiuses if my fret guru didn't work. But now I have 2 more radiuses.
Kurt says he loves his file and likes it better than Stumax.
You have this one, Kurt? I'm not sure. On StuMac, the only StuMac file I have, let me grab my StuMac file.
Birdman says, yeah, he has the same one. His came with a fret file for the side bite, too.
Well, I said my only StuMac file. That's incorrect. I have 2 StuMac Z files that are offset. I do not have the center cut.
Kurt has the same one.
Yeah, Kurt. So you guys like it. I have yet to touch a fret with it. But feeling the file, it feels like it's nice. Now my StuMac files, I have 2 of the Z files. They're good files, but if you're not careful with them, you can end up with a pyramid file fret really quick with the Z file. Now my file of choice for end dressing is my little StuMac file here. I think I've shown this on the channel before. And I like this one because it has a bull nose on this one side. So even if I lay that directly on the neck itself, it doesn't cut the neck. You literally have to roll it like that. Now I'm just starting to feel the file. The other side does the exact opposite. As soon as I roll it, I feel the file. So one side has a very slight radius before the file, and this side has a heavier radius. So you can get in and twist around the fret like this when you're doing your end dressing. You spin around and come around like that. I like the StuMac. I know it's really thin, but I like how they've dressed the end on the StuMac one. And the StuMac, this StuMac, I mean, all StuMac's hateful. I think this is about $20 or $16, between $16 and $20 for this little guy. But this one was expensive. I think this thing was $80. That's an expensive file. But this one I believe is diamond coated, and my fret guru is not. I don't believe it's a diamond coated. Now fret guru does make a diamond coated one, but the ones I've been using aren't diamond coated. So new tool. So I'm all happy about that. I gotta take that downstairs. Now that that's come, I can tinker around with that one and check the radiuses, and I'll put little Sharpie marks on it for what I feel works best with it. You've got an FRTIZR on the way too. I don't know what that one is, Birdman. Yeah, so that sums up my day. So it was a pretty busy day, guys. I can't. No attentions on going in there. I actually went in to make a payment on my guitar case, and ended up not even getting the guitar case. Ended up bringing home 2 Ibanez guitars. So we'll see what ends up happening with it. And I'll send you a message on the one Devastator. Oh, it's similar to the Fret Kisser. LP Relief. Yeah, relief is another one of those things, guys. It kind of comes up to the individual. And it's funny that you all mentioned that. I was talking to a fella at Shenandoah today, and he was like, I hate relief. The neck has to be perfectly straight. He's one of the guys, he wants 0 relief. He wants a perfectly straight neck. That's fine. Me, I find between 0.5 and 0.75, even on some guitars, maybe even a whole millimeter of relief. And that's just what I feel on the guitar, if that makes sense. Maybe I've just played that relief for so long, it's what I'm used to. But that's what I tend to drift to is that relief, 0.5 millimeters to 1 millimeter on relief. You can get them set up anyway. With a set neck guitar, you have to watch right here. You'll end up with a spot that the truss rod doesn't adjust. So if you start putting too much relief in your neck and you like a lot of relief, you'll look, the neck will come here, it'll bow, and then it'll flatten out and go straight again.
Niall said, when are we going to get to see Linnell play guitar?
That is 100% on Linnell. That I have nothing to do with that. Actually, it's been a while since I've actually seen her play. I can come home and I can kind of tell when she's been playing, but she doesn't usually play in front of me, so don't feel bad, guys. Yeah, if you're that concerned with it, what I tell people, if you're concerned and you're adjusting the neck, and you want to make sure that you're not doing anything, give your truss rod a quarter turn, and leave it. Even if it doesn't change, you don't physically see a change using the tool on the neck. If you're concerned, give it a quarter turn, let the guitar set, okay? Come back the next day and check it again. But quarter turn is way, 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 way safe. Trust me. It's a way safe adjustment. The neck isn't going to do anything crazy with a quarter turn, one way or the other. So give it a quarter turn, see if it brings it up to about where you want it. I mean, if it's your personal guitar, you don't have to rush anyway. The slower you do it, actually, in my opinion, the better off you are. Because you give it the quarter turn, let the guitar get used to it, per se. Play it a couple days, make sure you like it. If you're like, I want to put a little more in it, give it another quarter turn. Sneak up on it. I think I said that on the other video. Don't take large jumps. If you sneak up on it, you're always better off, and you get to feel the in-between settings. You might go too far and go, I think I liked it better on the last adjustment, and then you could take a quarter turn out. If you just crank a whole turn on it, and then it changes, like, by doing quarter-inch turn increments, it gives you a better idea, makes you more familiar how that guitar is going to react. And there's different thread pitches too, guys, on the truss rods. A quarter turn on a Kramer might not be equal to a quarter turn on a Kramer, a Gibson, or a Firefly, or whatever. It's dependent on the thread pitch on the back side of the truss rod. That's why I say go a quarter turn, even if it's a drastic thread pitch or a real fine thread pitch. A quarter turn isn't going to cause too much problems one way or the other. I got a Les Paul Jr. back from the shop today. Had to fix a few things to my liking. Yeah, every guitar, guys, believe it or not, setup is, I'd hate to say it, setup's probably 80% of it. It really is. If the guitar is set up properly, and for me to say properly may not fit everybody. That's why I try to ask a lot of questions. What do you like? What are your other guitars? Try to get a feel for what they're used to playing. Because my setup on my preference may not match Birdman's setup. So everyone has a preference. The more you can tell the person working on your guitar, the happier you're going to be when you go to pick it up. If you just drop it off and say, hey, intonate it, put strings on it, check the action height, you're going to get a guitar back that's intonated, okay, to whatever action height he sets it to, but that may not be necessarily the action or the radius or the relief that you like, if that makes sense. So that's why I always tell people, just keep looking at your guitar, get familiar with what you like, start writing it down. I like this radius on this guitar. I like this about this guitar, this pickup output. And just start writing all that down. Eventually you'll start seeing a little pattern. And that'll at least steer you in the right direction for what you like. But that doesn't mean, like Jerry was talking earlier on thick necks, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have something completely different. If it makes you play different, then great. That's kind of what I'm doing now. I wanna be able to pick up a different guitar, and it makes me want to play it different. I mean, I've got enough shred guitars per se, my '80s hair shred guitars. So now I'm searching for those guitars that'll make me do different things, in the arsenal that I can pick up and play. Now, that's why I stay to get a call to show up and then return and play until it's right or wrong. Yeah, yep. You gotta get a grasp on what you like and get. If you find someone that does good work and he gets to know you. Sorry, you'll find that each guitar he works on, it should get better. The more the person gets to know you, the more he knows what you like and what you don't like. Technically, the work and what you drop off and what you get back should progressively get better each time you drop an instrument off to the person, because you start forming a relationship, and that's what it's about. The more, like I said, the more you can tell them, the better off you're going to be. I am so thirsty. I don't know why. I guess I've been talking a lot. Where are we at time wise, guys? Because we know Jerry is still in the chat.
You're at like 9:13.
It's 9:13.
9:15.
Oh, 9:15. Well, it's been 1 hour and 12 minutes. So we'll go a little bit longer before we take the designated Jerry break. Well, yeah, I think he can make it a 5 or 10 more minutes. He should be fine. So what do you guys think? I know. What do you guys think I paid for the RG?
Niall said need a soda.
Needs a soda. That's a pop. I think I got a good deal on it. Are you still on the road, Ted, for business? The last time I spoke to Ted, he was out staying in a hotel for work, traveling the roads. So I don't know if he's still out traveling the roads or not. Anyway, Ted, thank you for coming by and joining the live stream. It's great to have you in. It really is. And be safe. Oh, you're back home again. That's cool. Gotcha, brother. It's nice to be home, isn't it? All right, man. Thanks for coming by and checking out the stream and joining in, man. It means a lot to me. It really does. Kurt Inskill said 350. Jerry says 200. Devastator says 350. Mickey says 100. I would buy 10 of those for $100.
It's Mikey, not Mickey.
Mikey. Sorry. I paid $250 for the guitar. I think that was a fair price with the work the guitar needs, because it needs a complete, fret dressing, 100%. The frets are very discolored, and the bridge needs a complete. I'm gonna take the bridge off the guitar. I have a sonic cleaner downstairs. I don't know if you've ever seen that in the background. So I'm going to pull the bridge off the guitar. I'm going to put some aircraft cleaner made by Simple Green. It's a commercial aircraft cleaner. Put that in the tank, and I'm just going to drop the bridge in there, turn it up to about 220 degrees, hit sonic, and let it cook for about 2 or 3 hours, and pull it out, and that thing ought to be shiny. Should be super clean. Do the exact same thing with the nut. Those sonic cleaners do, it's like jewelry. When you put jewelry in there, when it comes out, it looks brand new. So I'll crank up the heat on it a little bit and turn up the. I'll have to show it to you guys. If you go back and look at my videos, it's sitting in the back on top of one of my yellow toolboxes on the arm. That's my sonic cleaner.
Yeah, Jerry said, since I was the closest, just like the Price is Right, I get first crack at it.
I like that. The price is right. Every time I think about that, I think about that one where he's playing golf with the one guy. He goes, "The price is wrong," and he gets punched. Ha! Oh, like, that's a funny movie.
Now said if it's a Japan-made guitar, it's worth way more than 250, even with the needed work.
Yeah, it is. It is the Japan-made guitar. So, but I look at things, guys, that I have to put work into it and maybe parts. And I don't know what they sell for. I didn't go on Reverb. Um, I'm gonna guess that those guitars are anywhere from 550 to 1,000. I could be completely wrong. Maybe they go for 500. I don't know. But I would think a Japan-made Ibanez of that era would be anywhere from 550 to 1,000. Now, granted, this one has some chips in the paint, so even if you get everything perfect, it's not going to be perfect because it has some chips in the body where it's got some body damage on the back.
Birdman,
So that hurts it.
Birdman said, I've been offered a refurbished Donner Q1 HSS Strat clone for 85 and some change on eBay.
Uh,
He's got 6 hours left to decide.
uh, I don't know what the Donner. I know some of the Donners now are up to like $300. So it depends on. There's an old saying, Birdman. Usually anything new. That's why I like buying more vintage instruments.
So this one's refurbished that he's talking
Yeah, I try to buy more. If I'm gonna fix something up and try to resell it, I want to stick more with a vintage instrument that I know people look for. And the Japan-made RGs, I didn't need to look that up. I know people look for those guitars because they're great guitars, and I know I can sell it. It's a vintage RG, so it'll sell without a doubt. When you get into Donner, Fireflies, and stuff like that, if you're selling it to someone that doesn't know you and your work, you can usually take 50% of what you paid for it, and that sometimes even goes with a Kramer. If you buy a Kramer and you keep it for a year and a half and you've played it, you might get 65, 70% on a name brand. So it depends on where you're selling it. If people know you and they know your work, you should be able to at least get new price for it plus your labor in an ideal world. But a lot of times it just doesn't work that way. Here on the channel, what I try to do is get the guitar money back and my labor's free. And that is a horrible business model. You're not going to make a living that way. But I'm not trying to make a living on the channel. I'm just trying to move the product out to get something else to keep the channel moving. So usually it's free labor, and I'll try to just get my money back, and then everything that I've put in the guitar is free. Sometimes that I don't always get that. Sometimes I lose a little, and that's fine.
Jupe said let's do a live stream auction on it.
Yeah, you can do that too. But he says he's got 6 hours to decide. I don't know that model number, so I don't know what they sold for new. He said Fred 11 does need some love.
He says he's got the ice blue, I guess metallic one, and it's sweet, but Fred 11 needs some love.
Yeah, I'm just not familiar enough with it. You know what you have in it and your time in it, so then you just have to make a decision. If you sell it, the money that you get back from it, if that helps you move on to something else for your channel or something else that you like, then I say sell it. Um, Sometimes it's not about recouping all your money, and that's something I wanted to say. Like Jupe has been like I've Jupe surprises me every week. He sent us another package with some vanilla stuff, and Jupe, if I haven't said thank you, 100% thank you.
Yeah, I
That
told him I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, she hasn't. I run across a lot of different people, and Jupe has really went out of his way to make sure that I was taken care of on that Firefly. He didn't. He sent me a couple extra dollars because he saw the receipt on what I paid on shipping. I told him it was going to cost X. I didn't call him or anything. I just said, okay, I screwed up and I paid for the shipping and sent the guitar to him. And he saw what I paid for shipping, and he was like, "Oh no, that's not going to happen." Very, 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 very few people would ever do what Jupe did. I have the utmost respect for Jupe for doing that. That just tells me his character and his willingness, to make sure of things. But that's not normally how it happens. When I sell on Marketplace, literally I'm just trying to get the cost of the guitar out. And if I can get all my parts out of it, great. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. That's the reason the FFM is still here. I tried to sell that guitar about a year ago, and I have 550 in the guitar with the guitar and all the parts. You can go back, it's like 540 something. I did a video last year on it. I just can't move the guitar for 550 because it's a Firefly. Most people locally that's looking, they don't technically know me. I can't take it to Shenandoah and sell it because they sell name brands and they want to make a little extra on it. So if they're going to make, 10 or 15% on it, that's another $100 to the asking price. So then it starts putting them into, a Jackson X series and stuff like that. So it's been difficult for me. So sometimes I just don't take the hit on it. That guitar plays too nice to let go for $400. So I've just been letting it sit on the wall, and I pick it up and I play it occasionally. And then other guitars, like the Firefly Telecaster, I lost a tremendous amount of money on it. That's fine. I didn't feel like going back through the rigmarole calling Guitar Gardens and getting it switched out. So I just sold it. I think it was like $80. And the guy come and picked it up. It had a cracked body. $80. So sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. And I found, just so you guys know, I found the window in YouTube that goes over all the super chats. So it tells me what you guys gave. So I can convert that over and get the percentage. So I'm going to post that total probably tomorrow. And it keeps a running total of everything. It's a little more than I thought it was going to be. So it'll be up to you guys what we order. If we want to do a budget guitar, if we want to keep putting money in the pot to order something nicer, it's up to you guys. But I'll post it in the post window tomorrow. What's in the kitty? No, Jupe, I appreciate you. Trust me, having customers that appreciate things is a thing of the past. I hate to say that. But it truly is. I've got good friends that own music stores, and I know how people just come in and just beat them up for everything. Everything. And I'm guilty of it too. I look at a $200 guitar and I'm picking it apart, and I got to think it's a $200 guitar. Some of these guitars, I pick them up, and it's a $200, like that guitar she just bought. You all said it was $450 retail. Or on Sweetwater. For what we paid for that, and the guitar doesn't look like it's been played. You just got to kind of look around.
Devastator sent $5.
Oh. Oh, okay. Hold on. Thank you, Devastator. That goes into the kitty. So, when I look at guitars like that, and the fret dressing that's on it, like I said, I don't know what year guitar that is. It can't be that old. I'm thinking maybe 6, 7 months old. I think it was bought and they just never played it and just took it in, traded it on something else. So that's the way to buy it. That doesn't happen very often. Usually you go in, you look at something used, it gets dings, dents, scratches, or there's still, and if it's like this one, they're almost asking new price for it. Like I think I told you all the story. I walked into Guitar Center and they had this Sire L7V, and it played so nice. And I told Linnell when I walked in, I'm not spending more than $500 on this guitar. I'm not. $500 is my limit. I don't care. I'm not. The best deal they would give me was $550, and I said, look, I'll give you $5. And he said, no, $550. And I said, well, I could buy it new for $650. And he's like, $550 buys a guitar. And I didn't buy it. So sometimes they want pretty much right at a new price. Should I bulk paid it for it? It would have been $100 cheaper. And it was in my hands and I knew it was a good one. If I order it from Sweetwater, I might get a good one. I might not get a good one. So was that worth the extra $100? The guitar is in my hands. I know it's a good guitar. I just finished playing it. I made a mistake. In my opinion, I made a mistake. Even though there was a couple little scratch marks on the top from it being played, that extra 100 or 50 that I thought, like I wanted to pay 500, no more, an extra $50, it's $50. We spent $50 today eating at Chipotle. So, what's $50? Sometimes I gotta reel myself in. If I've played it and I know I like it, I shouldn't argue too much over $50. I should just go ahead and purchase it.
Cole is on. He said just a little hello from Israel. It's 4 a.m. there.
Hey, Cole. I think this is your second or third time in. It's good to see you back, man. I'm glad that I've got fans in Israel. Hopefully everything over there is getting straight, man. I know it's been turmoil for you guys over there for a while, so I'm praying for you guys over there. It's good to see you. But it's 4 a.m. It's time for you to get some sleep. Ha! Yeah, very rarely do we have, like, I think we've had Australia once. Someone said he was in Australia. And of course, Cole, Israel. But usually the audience here has been the United States. I think we've had one or two Canadians. Um, and that's about it, to my knowledge, unless they sit in the background and not chat. Like right now, it says 17. So they could be all United States, all Canada, or they could be in another country. So if you're in another country, you can put in there. Oh, and something else, guys. We've got 17 in here right now. I was going to do right on the top of the screen up here, I was going to please hit the sub button. We need 8 people to sub to get to 2,000 subscribers. And I have been fighting this last 25 subscribers. It's been like this. I get up to where I'm at, and then I lose, and it goes back. I have been at the 1,998 to 92, 93 for the last several weeks. It goes up and then it drops. It goes up and then it drops. It always goes up 1 or 2 each week. But it seems like I gain 5, I lose 3. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, please go down and hit the little button. Well, I really want to get to 2,000 subscribers, and it's an artificial thing. It's not like the channel's going to blow up once you hit 2,000 subscribers, and YouTube is just going to love the channel. It's going to get pushed out. That's not going to happen. It's just a mental thing. When I'm in YouTube checking on things, just that fight that from really 1,975 to where I'm at now, it has literally just been a roller coaster ride.
Jerry said, I wonder if it's bots.
I don't know. I know YouTube, I was watching, I think Philip McKnight, I don't know if it was this week or the week before, and he said YouTube had changed the AI system. He had actually called because a couple of the people made comments. He said they would watch the video and the thumbs up would constantly go up as they were watching the video. And he said YouTube is doing that on purpose to create buzz on the video. So the video might have, let's say, 500 likes, because he's got a big channel. Let's say it's got 500 likes. When you click on it, it'll say it has 480 likes. Even though YouTube knows there's 500 likes, it'll show you 480. And as you're watching it, it'll roll it to make you think, hey man, a lot of people are liking this video, I better like it too. I've never seen my channel do that. There's only been one time that I was watching. I think Linnell remembers because it freaked us out. All of a sudden, I've only had this happen once. I released a video and it literally, the line went straight up. Now, I was getting maybe 20 views a day, 30 views a day, 40 views a day on a good day. This video literally hit 100 views and it shot to like 500 or 600 views in less than 3 or 4 hours. And you could watch the little thing click. It was going 110, 112, 115, 120, and it was just going crazy. My videos don't do that. I can watch a video and I might see it flip once or twice during the video, but this thing was skipping numbers. It was going up so fast. After 24 hours, it just boom, it just died after 24 hours. So I don't think that was the case in that video because the channel had only been out for like 4 or 5 months. And I've talked to Philip McKnight in person and watching his live streams. I don't think he's the kind of person that would say something like that if he didn't, actually know that it was happening. Like he said that he called in and the AI system is doing it so you feel more engaged with what you're watching. So I don't know if I agree with that or not. I would rather when you click into the video, you can see whether the video is well liked. Now they just said the like button, so they didn't say subs. But I think YouTube kind of plays with the subs too. Because today I was at 1,992 and we were at the music store and we saw the girl hit subscribe. 3 hours later, I'm still at 1,992. So I don't know how long it takes YouTube to actually show on my end that someone has subscribed or not. I thought it was instant, but evidently it wasn't. Now I was on my phone, I wasn't on my home computer, but I thought that was a little strange. But if you're in watching this live stream, please go down and hit the sub button. And if you're watching later and we're still not, or even if we're after 2000, go down and hit the sub button. I do a lot of work for YouTube, and it's pretty much free. Doing the guitar reviews and doing this kind of stuff and trying to create a community. If I'm not at work, I'm YouTube working. So it means a lot to me, and for me, it's more of a mental thing. I've been seeing that number just itching, and since we started doing the live channels, YouTube has really slapped this channel. We were doing videos, so YouTube was pushing the video, and I think I confused the AI system now doing the lives, so it got a little confused. The Fender review seems to be doing okay, so. Hopefully now it'll understand that we're going to do both, and it'll push both.
Jupe said it says 1.99 now.
Oh, cool. I had to go back and look. Let me see if I can fire up another window here on YouTube. Manage videos. Let me see what I got to do here, guys. Let me actually look at this. Dashboard. Yeah, on my end it says 1993. That's what we have. So it could be that it just took that long for the girl at Shenandoah Music for that subscription to actually show.
Kurt says YouTube don't like live shows.
Yeah. YouTube has really punished me since I started doing the live. It liked it when I was just doing guitar reviews and setup videos. It liked that far better, but that's fine. Like I said, I'm not here to have 50, 60,000 subs. I would rather have a group like this that likes one another, communicates well with one another, and doesn't feel bad about sharing information. If that makes sense. Those are the people we're wanting in, And if you don't contribute and you just like hanging out and just listening in, that's cool too. Um, but for the most part, I think when people ask something in the chat, there's always someone here that's willing to kind of help you out. And that's what it's about. That's what the goal of the channel was. I, when I was looking around on YouTube and I was trying to find reviews on certain things, and all I saw was, this guitar is amazing. It's $150. It's great. Every video is the exact same. I'm like, there's something going on here. So that's why I started YouTube, to kind of give a fresh perspective on budget guitars. And it's taught me a lot. It's taught me that in some cases, you don't need to spend big money. You really don't. Sometimes you can get a heck of an instrument, for $300. And I never thought that was the case, until I started reviewing guitars. Now I know you can. Is every one of them going to be great? I can tell you they're not. I've gotten Firefly guitars that are just awful. Gotten some that's just great.
Jerry said already, Avery, it's intermission time.
Oh, Jerry is wanting a break. I probably talked longer than 10 minutes, and he's sitting there with his legs crossed, jiggling his feet, going, okay, it's break time, it's break time, it's break time. So we're going to go ahead and take our intermission, and everyone can go fill up their beverage, hit the restroom, get popcorn, or as they say in the UK, get some vittles. Or if you're in Australia, you can get a Vegemite sandwich.
Ew.
Just saying. I'm not putting Vegemite down. I don't think I've ever had it, but I know they like it in Australia. All right, guys, we'll be right back. I can't get over this guitar. I'm just gonna let Linnell pick the guitars from now on. She really does pick some nice guitars. This thing is just crazy nice. It's got a good sound. I like it. It does good on the pull. It does well. Some guitars kind of die and choke. Yep, I think from now on I'm letting Linnell just turn her loose in the store and say, go pick the guitar for review, because she seems to do a really good job. This neck is quite thin. It does well on the non-struck notes. It doesn't have the sound, the EVH. It's a little bright.
Mikey said, so we'll was broke on the guitar?
It's a who?
Mikey said what was broke on the guitar.
On this one? There was nothing broke on this one.
I think he means the other one.
The other guitar, it's the jack input is really loose on the guitar. There's some issues with the tremolo, so I need to take the tremolo apart, get an arm for it. And those low profile parts are hard to find. You can still buy the bridges, but it's all special order if you need a part for it. So I'm going to have to do some research and see if a regular Edge or Goth or Goto, excuse me, or Floyd Rose bar will fit in the low profile plate. I'll know once I take it apart and I see the internals on the back side of the tremolo. I'll know I can take the bar block out and measure the bore hole in the plate, and I can determine whether or not a turbo bar will fit. If a turbo bar will fit, I'll just get a turbo bar for it and replace the housing and all. But I'm thinking that one has a push-in bar, and I don't have the bar. It was lost.
Steven says that's a really different colored blue too.
On the old RG or this one?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, this is like a flame maple top. This is a really pretty guitar. Really sloppy on that one. I haven't done that little ditty in a while. Need to practice that. And like I say, guys, practice, do it over and over and over. If you don't do something for a while, you'll be surprised how rusty you get. This I used to be really good at. I just gotta pick a night, turn on the TV, unplugged, and just over and over and over. And just that is so wrong. The notes are out of place. It's about being smooth and precise. You just got to keep beating it and beating it and beating it and.
Jim said your toilet can handle only so much. Come on, let's go.
Yeah. This is quite impressive for what it is.
You see what Niall said?
Practice until the wife hits you in the head with a frying pan. I can believe that and say play something different. You know, Linnell, that's what I was saying. Linnell hears me sometimes just out of there, and I play the exact same riff over and over and over. One that she probably got tired of me practicing was this little guy. And basically that's for doing sweep picking. And I still don't have it. And it's basically your D. See, this isn't a D. When you play this isn't D. This is actually a D. no one actually plays a full D. So when you get down here, it's been a long time since I've done that. Yeah, it's there. So basically you're just playing that chord pattern and you're going to sweep it. And for whatever reason, I just can't get it. I've been practicing that for over a year. And it's just not clicking with me. That's why I was saying sometimes we have to drop it. If you're struggling with it and you're just not making progress, drop it. Come back to it at a later date and you'll be surprised. One day you're going to practice it for 5 minutes and all of a sudden it's just going to hit you like a ton of bricks. You'll be like, well, how come I couldn't do that 6 months ago? And I find that true to a lot of things that I struggle with. It's just not your time to be able to do that, if that makes sense. It will happen. And it's going to happen when you least expect it. If you keep practicing it, and that was wrong. Yep. Just keep going it over and over. Eventually, one day you're going to be noodling. And you'll be able to incorporate it. That's not near where it needs to be.
Birdman says, whose guitar's in the chair?
Whose guitar is in the chair? That guitar, believe it or not, was bought over probably almost a year ago. That guitar was bought the same time I bought a Firefly Relic guitar. Neither one of those guitars ever actually got reviewed on the channel. The Relic guitar, it hung on the wall. You'll see it if you go back and look at some of my videos. There's a Relic that hangs on the wall. That guitar ended up being sold just to get something that everyone seemed to be buzzing about at the time that I wanted to get for a review. So I sold that guitar and another Firefly to buy the one that everyone was talking about to do a true review on. This one just slipped between the cracks. We can plug that one in. It has not been tuned. I brought it up here because I was going to do a review on it and then try to sell it. Hold on. So this is a pretty heavy guitar. It's made out of ash, and if you're familiar with the Firefly ash guitars, they are quite heavy. And this guitar is no different. After playing that one, that guitar is really light. This one is really heavy. So let's see what it's. See if it's in tune. And it is not. This one's bad. You can tell sometimes on your intonation by tuning to your D and then coming here and then go to your D. You can hear it slightly out. Now you can't get all of that out. Now YouTube says it's having a problem, guys. So give me 1 second. Let me go to my manage video page. It says that I lost connection. So hopefully you guys are still here. Let me go back to the main screen here. It says I'm still alive. It says it's connecting. There it goes.
Mikey wants to know, so do you tune down then back up to pitch?
I do. That's what you heard me going. And the only reason you're really doing that is for the tuners. If you bring your tune down, like let's say, look, I'm going to hit the E here. Now I'm going to deliberately take the E up in tune. Okay? Now I'm gonna take the E down, but I'm not gonna bring it back up. I'm just gonna bring it down in tune. Right there. Now odds are this E is not gonna stay in tune. Okay, it's gonna fall out of tune pretty quick as I play it. Hear it? You have to bring it up. And that's because the tuner, you always go down below your tune and then tune up. And it should stay in tune better. If it doesn't at that point, that means the tuners are slipping. And you can tell from this guitar, from the Ibanez, this guitar just doesn't have the sound. It's got a little bit weaker sound than the Ibanez. This production run was the last run before before Firefly went to the other Alnico 5 pickups, and they really made a lot of improvements on the next run of guitars. But this was their first run of Alnico when they tried to fix their microphonic pickups. Check, 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 check. This one's not microphonic, but they had a lot of problems with it. And this was their first attempt to kind of put Alnico 5s in a guitar. I mean, they're not horrible. My issue with these is just the weight. Okay, these are heavy instruments. They are. This almost gets you into the Les Paul weight. I don't think it's really Les Paul heavy, but it's pretty close. But these were actually really good guitars. Devastator has one of the purple ones. Okay, but that's a second production run when they had done a little bit better on the fretwork, a little bit better pickups. And it was just they had went up one more notch from this first gen model. But this was the first gen model. And it needs strings. This guitar has been here for about a year, and it still has the Firefly strings on it. So my fingers are black from playing it. But these were well made instruments. When I took Devastators apart and the other one that I had like this apart, the pockets, the routing, everything on this guitar, it's well produced as far as the machine work. These guitars just need some TLC. They need a good setup, good set of strings. And if you want, you can do better pickups. But these were far better than the ones before the Alnicos. This one gets a little muddy when you put it on high gain. High gain. I think all the Firefly pickups do that. So, in my opinion, you could get what's it? Wilkinson makes that M2 series pickup with it's a high output humbucker with two single coils. I think the whole kit's like $75. And drop those in it, and this would be a fantastic guitar. Don't put those Wilkinson pickups on a shelf. Believe me, those M2, I think it's a M2 series. They're good pickups for the money. They really are good pickups. They have two different voices. They have a more modern voice and a classic voice, and I've tried both, and both of them are just great pickups for. Remember, you're paying less for all three pickups than you would one Seymour Duncan JB. One Seymour Duncan JB is like $110. Well, you can buy the whole set. I think it's like $80 on Amazon, and they're great pickups. Put those pickups in this guitar and be ready to go. Now, this one does have the locking tuners on it, and they're hitting miss with Firefly. Sometimes they're good, and sometimes they feel a little scratchy. And I've gotten reports that they fail pretty quickly. Year, 2 years, and the tuners fail. I think Jerry had one of his fail on one of his guitars with the locking tuners. So a good set of tuners for this guitar, probably about $60. So, and that's all I would do to it. You don't have a locking nut, but I wouldn't do anything to the tuners until one of them failed. So I'm falling behind on everything that's here to doing reviews. And I've done so many Firefly reviews, I don't know if I really want to take another one apart, especially since this is not an instrument that's available from them anymore. So if they put this guitar back up on the website, it's not going to have these pickups in it. So it's kind of hard for me to do a review on a guitar that you guys can't purchase, if that makes sense. It's just this one, unless you saw one used somewhere. But if someone wants it, it's here. If not, I was going to just put it on Marketplace and sell it. It needs a good tuning. These strings are just dead. If anyone here has bought a new Firefly, you know the stock strings are horrible. And they started putting these colored ball strings in it to make it look like they're D'Addario strings. There's no way that they're using D'Addario strings, because I've pulled the D'Addario strings out of these, and they literally make your fingers black. So I think it's a clone D'Addario string. And they don't even claim it's D'Addario strings, but if you go on like fireflyfans.com or something, they say it comes with D'Addario strings. Well, they are colored ball ends, but I've never bought D'Addario strings out of the package that turn my fingers black. So I'm pretty sure they're fake, strings that just have the colored ball ends on them. So if you got a Firefly, first thing you do, just rip the strings off of it and put a good set of strings on it, and you'll be surprised how much better the guitar sounds, even just replacing the strings. But you will have to set the intonation, because I've found with the factory strings, if you set the intonation with these cheap strings, it doesn't matter what you put on it, it's going to be several turns off intonation when you put a decent set of strings on it. Not talking a quarter turn, it's usually a half turn or 3/4 turn, one way or the other, to get the intonation right back on the guitar from the stock strings.
Niles only uses String Joy.
I like the String Joy. I got a set of String Joy. Went down to Harrisonburg, and I wanted to buy something different. And the guy said, "Try these String Joys," and I really did like them. They were pricey. I think they were like $18 or something for the set, but they were good strings. And I got these coming on Amazon. It comes once a month, and I need to stop the order because I was playing these NYXL, and I'm kind of straying away from these now. There's nothing at all wrong with these strings, but I've been trying to stray away from them. I've been using like the Diodario XL, the Super Slinky, the String Joy. I've been trying to buy different kinds of strings to kind of see what I'm liking. And String Joy was one of them that I did like, and I like the Super Slinkies too. So if I got to pick String Joy or Super Slinky, I'm going Super Slinky, just simply because they're half the price of the String Joy. But the guitar with the String Joys, those strings still sound good. So it might be a longevity thing. And that's something I could say about these strings, the NYXLs. If you've got a guitar that you don't play that much and you don't want to put a set of strings on it, play it for a month, and then pick it up 6 months later and the strings are just, put the NYXLs on. I put those on a guitar and then put them in a box, pull the guitar out a year later, and the strings are still shiny and nice and they sound good. So the longevity on these strings do seem to be good. That I've just been seeing, and it's just me, it seems like they're a little hard on frets. The string should be much softer than the fret material. And it seems like the guitars that I put on, it seems like I can see fret wear or a discolorization in the fret more so than other strings. Because guitars that I play, I usually polish the frets, and I can see after 6 or 7 months with those strings a dull spot in the frets. Could be just me. If you watch me play, I'm pretty aggressive with the pick, and I'm pretty aggressive biting into the guitar. It's pretty funny if you go back. I did a review on a acoustic Firefly acoustic, and one of the comments it goes, "The guitar still sounds good even though you beat the piss out of it playing it," or something like that. In other words, I was just beating the tar out of it. He said, and even though you played it so horribly, if the guitar still sounds decent. I was like, well, thank you, sir. So I know that I am a little aggressive on a guitar, and part of that old saying is people say tone is in the fingers, and I never understood that, guys, until probably 3 or 4 years ago. I'm a firm believer in that. How you attack the string, how you pull the string, how aggressively you bend, and how you mute. All these things really change the characteristic of your tone. It really does. If I play soft or if I dig in, it does a lot. And I wish 30 years ago that I knew what I know now. My whole approach on learning guitar and learning songs and playing would be completely different. I mean, completely different. I was one that thought that you had to do this. You know, you had to play things necessarily note for note. Now I don't necessarily subscribe to that. I think that if you get it close and you play it as a group, it's okay. You're not that band. You know, they're going to have their little trade secrets. You don't have to necessarily play it for note. And I never used to say that. I used to sit and just practice and practice and practice. And what did I just say earlier? Sometimes you either get it or you don't get it. But I didn't stop back then. I can't get it. I just keep, and I would get to the point where I hated the song because I knew it wasn't getting it quite right. But I kept pounding it and pounding it. Now I would look at it and go, okay, This is as good as I can get it right now. I will progressively get better as the band plays it. I can't force. I can't force this ditty, or this run, or this, or I would play half the run instead of playing the whole run. Maybe I could just go and hit the primary notes, skip the passing notes, maybe even approach it like that. Because sometimes the audience only hears the accent notes. Maybe you just hit the accent notes until you get better playing the other part. I would approach things a lot differently. Um, Back then, we didn't have modelers, but if we had, I wouldn't take my rack. I'd just take, like Jerry said in one of the comments, the Yamaha sounds better. I think what the comment was, the Yamaha sounded better than the Line 6. In some cases, I'm going to say that little Yamaha that you're hearing tonight, that's the amp that we're using again tonight, is the Yamaha. It does sound better than the Line 6. The Line 6 has more features, and I'm sure that if you dialed it in, you could get the exact same sound that I'm getting from the Yamaha out of the Line 6. Without a doubt, it's capable of doing it. It's not the Line 6's problem, it's this guy's problem, getting it programmed and getting it to sound right. And I've told you guys that before. I've struggled with the Line 6, getting it to sound right. When I first got it, I was like, this thing sounds awful. But the more I played with it, the more I started to wrap my head around programming it. And I'll get better. There's guys out there that get phenomenal sounds out of these little stomps. It's capable. It's not the unit, it's me, if that makes sense. We got to keep that in mind too. Sometimes it's us, if that makes sense. There's not an instrument in this house that someone couldn't pick up and take out live and make money playing. Even this one. What makes you a professional is if you've got something that might not be quite right, that professional is going to go out there and he's going to do a professional job. He's going to do the best job he can possibly do with the tools that he's given. That's, in my opinion, what makes a professional a professional. Do we like better instruments? Sure, I love better instruments. They play easier or sound better. But in reality, a professional needs to work around things. You go somewhere, your amp goes down. Well, guess what? They just rolled a piece of junk amp that looks like it's been in World War II, and that's what you're going to play out of because that's all the house has that you can make work. He's going to make that work. Some way, somehow, he's going to make it work. So that's kind of what separates, well, me. I don't know about anyone here. You guys could be super professionals and just coming in and chatting with the lower skilled people. I don't know. But that's what separates me now, not being a professional anymore, but more being a woodworker and CNC programmer versus someone that plays music and makes money with music every day. There's an old saying, you can't beat someone at their own trade. When you do something every day and you have to perform and you hone your skills. That's why I say just keep playing it, keep playing it, keep playing it. You will get it. It's repetition. It's what it's about. Yeah, oh, Honey Tap come in. The HX Stomp does sound a little thin compared to my Yamaha, or Linnell's Yamaha. Sorry. I think the Yamaha just has a fuller sound. But I'm not going to discount the Line 6 because there's thousands of people out there that take the Line 6 Stomp out and play professionally every weekend with it and have great success. Remember, guys, we're playing with just one instrument. What our ears tell us sounds good just with one instrument is the exact opposite of what you want in a mix. If you ever listen to a track from a song and it's just the guitar sounds awful because they've EQ'd it to punch through the mix. But the guitar separated usually sounds awful, but they've EQ'd it that way. You've got to find that spot where you're not stepping on the vocals, You're not stepping on the bass. You're not stepping on the keyboard player. And if you got a keyboard player, it's even harder. Usually that isolated guitar track usually is EQ'd very peculiar. And it's EQ'd that way so you can hear it. So you're not trampling and destroying the bass player or the keyboard player or this player. When I'm sitting here playing and that's a completely different monster, a completely different EQ setting than if I was out playing in a band. My rack mount unit has 20 different channels that I used to use just for playing out live. Me playing here, they all sound like poo poo because there's no bass, there's no rhythm player because we had a rhythm guitar player. Sometimes I was a rhythm guitar player. So I needed something that sounded different than the other guitar player. You're occupying the same spot in the mix. So you've got to keep all those things in account. Usually it's going to sound like poo poo. It will if you're cutting through the mix. And if anyone disagrees with me, you can post and we can hash it out. But what I've found is when you're playing with others, you've got to do some pretty strange EQ to get your guitar to cut through the mix.
Honeytap says, what guitar are you playing?
This is an old Firefly. Well, it's not old, it's brand new. It was never reviewed on the channel. It was ordered, and I ordered two of them, Honeytap, and one was sold to get a different guitar for the channel to review because it was a hot topic at the time, and this one was forgotten about. So they don't make this model anymore because this is the old Alnico pickups they used to use. They've switched since then. So I don't know if we'll do a review on it, or this might be one of those guitars where we just do maybe a how to make your Firefly better or something. Put some Wilkinson MS pickups in it.
Is that the one Ted wanted?
Huh?
Is that the one Ted was talking about?
No, Ted was talking about the white telly. Pretty sure.
Okay.
So we might do something like that with this guitar. I'm not going to do a full off review on it because it's not available for purchase. But tonight, Honeytap, I've been playing this guitar. Been playing the Ivan Had, as I like to call them. So that's this one. And I think that's all the new stuff, guys. So if anyone has any suggestions on that, like I said, I don't really know what to do with it. So it was lost. It's been bought and paid for over a year. So it's not like I necessarily need to sell it, but it's not doing me any good here. Do we have any smokes in there, hon? Let me grab a drink, guys. Honeytap, that's one of the ash body Fireflies. I think you've had one in the past. I think that you said that. It's going to be on the heavy side. I haven't weighed it, but I'm guessing 8.25, 8.5 pounds. I'm guessing. I mean, I could weigh it, but it feels heavy when I pick it up. It feels like a heavy guitar. And Stefan says, I just got the Vox VT40X, and I love it. Learning all the sounds, but beats my 30-watt Marshall by miles. The guy, I think he'd been in the chat once or twice. You all remember School Bus? Yeah, Short Bus, not School Bus, Short Bus. He was in the chat. He come over and took a couple lessons. I don't think he's doing too much with it right now. He kind of was all gung-ho for like the first 2 months. Now he's kind of slopped off on it. He bought a new X, and I want to say that amp was $170.
Yeah, I think so.
It's like $170. And you control it with your phone. And that little amp impressed me. That was a nice sounding little amp. Like I said, there's so many decent amps. This little Yamaha impresses me too. That new X and don't anyone discount the Katana. The Katana is still, for every amp we pick, the Katana 50 watt has outsold it. Period. There have been more Katana 50 watt amplifiers sold probably than Spark, this Yamaha, and the New X combined.
Juke said, did you say that is not for sale?
What? What's not for sale?
I'm assuming the white guitar.
No, it's for sale if someone wants it.
I'm assuming.
It's got the typical Firefly pickup. If you put high gain in it, she gets muddy. But it has that quacky clean, which I kind of like. I like the Firefly pickups with just a little bit of dirt. It's got a, I don't even know, I'm still searching for the word to describe it. It has that vintage quack to the pickup. And I don't know if it's because it's got a stronger magnet with less winds, gives they just got a really cool, clean to clean dirt sound. But they seem to lose it when you put a lot of gain on them. And this guitar does the exact same thing. But it does have the good bridge that Firefly went to, the 2-post bridge. The exact same guitar, I think it's the exact same bridge as the one you just bought. I'm pretty sure it's the same bridge. But this is a good bridge on that guitar. It just needs to be set up, and the nut needs to be cleaned, and it'll stay in tune. There's no problem with it staying in tune. You get the nut right, and you get the bridge set right, that bridge will stay in tune. I didn't really play with it. It needs strings. But yeah, it's gonna go away. We've been slacking here lately. I've been wanting to put a lot of things on Marketplace, and we just haven't. We haven't listed anything on Marketplace in probably 6 months. So it's time to. I'm pretty much cleared out what I need to clear out, but this is one that I don't want to do a review on because you can't purchase the instrument anymore. You could buy one like it, but it's not going to come with those pickups. That was the first production run of that series, and I think they're on the 4th production run now.
Why don't you just message him?
I can message you on it. I can go back and look. I want to say that guitar was I want to say it was like $189, something like that for that guitar. Honeytap bought one. Honeytap, didn't you buy one like this? How much was yours? I mean I can look back at my my purchase orders and see what it was, but I want to say it was $189 for that guitar. But it definitely needs strings. Jupe, I'm not sending you that one without putting strings on it. I know I did the last one. Those were semi-okay. These strings, no. That guitar is not going your way unless it gets some strings on it. Those strings are awful. They're just awful strings. I always get low ball offers on stuff I'm selling. Birdman, that's just somebody wanting something for nothing. We get them too. When I put things on Marketplace, sometimes I'll get a message. I'll give you $50 for it. Or I was trying to sell my Dean, my MD-24. Or no, it wasn't the Dean. I forget which guitar it was, but it was a $800 or $900 guitar. I was getting $200-$300 offers. It's like I'm not selling a $900 guitar that I've played 3 times for $200. Because when I first started the channel, a lot of the first nicer guitars, they were sold on Marketplace, and I took a beating on them. I did, and literally the guitar was only played for the demo section. And that was it. It was a new guitar. I mean, we just did the Fender review. It went right back to the store, and it went right back on the floor for sale. It's still a new guitar. It's better than new. And guys, I saw that guitar still there today, so I'm surprised no one has called and swept that guitar up. I was really surprised to see it. But if I had to pick, and this is 100% honesty, if I had to pick between the Fender Standard Stratocaster and my bright yellow Yamaha that I just picked, I'm picking the Yamaha. And the Yamaha is $50 less. Now, which one plays better right now? The feel of the frets on the Fender I just returned feels better. But I did work on that guitar. If I compare both guitars as they were when I received them from Shenandoah, the fretwork was almost identical. I'd say the Yamaha just a little sharper on the ends than the Fender, ever so slightly. But I would say the fretwork was about the same between the two. The Yamaha just sounds better. It just sounds better. Now, granted, I know there are humbuckers in the Yamaha, and the Fender is a single coil. Those Fender pickups in the first, third, and fifth position are quite noisy. In my case, I play with a lot of gain, so I would find those ceramic pickups in the first, third, and fifth position a little too noisy for me. If you're playing light gain and cleans, I think it's fine. That's why Fender come out with their noiseless pickups. The drawback to those are it kind of stops sounding like a Strat with the Fender noiseless. That Fender Strat sounds like a Strat. It does all the Strat things. But for me, a little too noisy in the first, third, and fifth position because there's no noise cancellation. In the second and fourth position, you're adding that center pickup. That you got your north and south poles facing opposite directions, so it acts as like a humbucker, so it becomes very quiet. In that case, it's fine. But out of the two, I would pick the Yamaha. The Yamaha seems like with that switch that you can pull that changes, it emulates an overwhelmed pickup. You can get a lot of different sounds with the three-way switch and that push-pull on the Yamaha. I think it would be a better working man's guitar, and I think it sounds better out of the box. So, and I think that come across in the video. I said it multiple times how noisy that Fender was, in the first and third and fifth position. I wanted to make sure everyone was aware of that. But if I had to pick, I'd pick the Yamaha out of the two. But for what this guitar cost, this is crazy. There are deals out there, and like I said, she finds them. She does. She finds them. I don't know how she does it. She's kind of good at it. That when we got home, when she got the Chapman, we looked it up and it was like $1,100 guitar. It just blew my mind that someone traded in that Chapman. It just, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes, man, you can find guitars out there at reasonable prices, and then other times it's dry. There's nothing in your area. It just seems like there's nothing out there. Everything's been beat up, worn up, and they want way too much money for what it is. That happens here too. I'll get on Marketplace, look around, go to the music stores. There's just nothing. And then sometimes you walk in, you just say, wow, that's a good price. I'm going to get that. I haven't seen Devastator comment for a while, or Jerry. Jerry probably fell asleep. Now, if anyone knew, the reason Jerry missed the live last Thursday is he said he was nodding off during the repair video, and he evidently fell asleep before the live stream happened. So everyone was wondering, we were playing Where's Jerry instead of Where's Waldo? Well, he was asleep in the chair. That's what actually ended up happening. I thought that was pretty funny. He sent a message. It was late in the evening. Hey, I fell asleep. I'm watching it now. I thought that was pretty funny. Is Honey Tap still in the group, or did he migrate off? I don't know if he's still here now. I was going to ask him about the live shows he's been doing. He's been doing some live playing. I didn't know if he was playing music by request or if he was going down with a set list and actually playing. I wanted to ask him that. I haven't had the opportunity to watch one of the live shows he's been doing. Somebody else said that they were. Was it Kurt? Said you were going to go over and watch his channel until the stream happened. Is that what he's doing? If Kurt's still, I don't know if Kurt's still in the group or not. I'm not sure. Now says Ibanez Premium S1070 PBZ electric guitar, White Frost Burst is my newest guitar. It's a year old now. Don't even think they make it in the same color anymore. The Ibanez Premiums are nice. I picked one up, I think in Guitar Center, and it was a pretty nice guitar.
Jerry said ain't nobody sleeping.
Jerry said, well, it took him long enough. I think he was nodding off.
Kurt said he's doing a set list, no requests.
Oh, he's doing a set list. Okay. Thank you, Kurt. Yeah, I didn't know what he was doing. I watched some of these guys.
Duke says Honey Tap does a lot of 70s stuff.
I thought he did a lot of original stuff. Most of the stuff that I've heard him do has been originals. And there's nothing wrong with that. I love originals. And he emailed me about a year ago. And I didn't know who he was. I didn't know him from anything. He said, hey, I got a YouTube channel. Come check it out. I'm emailing different content creators. I want to get a bunch of musicians together and redo a song. And he posted a link of another group of YouTubers that had done the same thing. And these guys all had 60, 70, 80, 90,000, 100,000 subscribers. And he goes, these guys got big doing it. And I'm like, no, those guys were already big. And they all got together as big channels and posted a version of this song for each channel to do to gain subscribers. Yeah, he does all originals. I'm pretty sure it was all originals. He's pretty big on original stuff.
Birdman says he does OG string tripping.
String tripping. Hey, well, you guys will very rarely hear me play. I play little snippets for YouTube. I've sat down and I've tried to get creative. You know, I'll play a half a bar of a song and I've learned how to merge something else in it. I don't know if you all have picked up on that. I do a lot of that on purpose. I actually play some of the things, I half step down or I transpose it, you know, if I am playing a certain song, just simply because of YouTube strikes. And sometimes I'll play it right, but I do not stick with it long. I'll do maybe a measure and I'll come right off of it. You'll see a lot of artists on YouTube deliberately. People are like, oh, that's not how that song goes. I've gotten to the point where I think they know that. And they are deliberately playing it that way to where the AI system won't hammer them for playing or, you know, a copyright infringement. And you'll see me do that a lot. I'll omit a note or add a note. People are like, wow, it's really close. Well, it probably is that, and I'm deliberately altering it a little bit to where YouTube doesn't hammer me. And it shouldn't be that way. I'm not claiming to write anything. I've said it a million times. We're all artists here. And I can tell you right now, there's nobody here or any other YouTube channel that's going to write something that hasn't been wrote before. There's 12 notes. To find a sequence of notes that hasn't already been written in that sequence is like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. Everything has been wrote. It's how you approach it, how you attack it, the distortion, the bass, how it interacts to the drums. All these things build it. But as far as note structure, I doubt very seriously that there's a structure that hasn't been written. I mean, think about it. There's classical, there's jazz, there's new wave, there's country, there's bluegrass. Think of all the different music styles, reggae, rap. There's thousands of different styles, and they all write a little differently. Some, like, let's say jazz. Well, that's just a real high-tech version of the blues. Rock and roll. What is rock and roll? That's just the blues. That's all it is. Listen to modern country. It sounds like early 70s Southern rock now. So all these progressions have been written. But I try to change it up enough to where YouTube doesn't hammer me on it.
Jupe says that's what I don't understand. If you play someone else's stuff, isn't that free advertising?
You would think. You would think. You would think like Eddie Van Halen's estate would love YouTube guys, especially people like me. Maybe a younger person comes in the channel, and says, "Oh, what's that song?" And someone says, "Well, it's Eddie Van Halen." Ooh, who's Eddie Van Halen? And then they go and they start downloading Eddie Van Halen's music. It seems like it would be better, for them to get the free advertisement. Maybe someone that hasn't heard that artist before will hear it. I was going to play Lumberjack earlier, and I didn't play it. I was going to play it. And I heard, I was on someone's channel and they said, well, we played this and they got a cease and desist and a copyright strike from Jackal. I'm like, well, why would Jackal do that? Jackal should be happy someone's even playing their song at this point. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Jackal is big somewhere and they're still selling. But I would think Jackal would want, a channel with 30 or 40,000 or 50,000 subscribers playing a Jackal song, and someone's, hey, what's that song? Oh, it's Jackal. Oh, who's Jackal? Oh, it's blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, I'm going to go check them out. So I didn't play it, just simply because of what I had heard. I had also heard when I did the Alex License review on the Les Paul, at the very end, I played this much of Limelight because I had heard Rush was pretty hard on YouTube creators playing Rush songs. So I only played just a little bit of Limelight, just to go, yeah, here's a tribute to Alex. At the very end of the review, I played maybe a measure and a half, 2 measures of Limelight. I haven't gotten a strike on it, but I think I'm playing it pretty close. I just sat down and said, okay, this is a Rush guitar. I need to learn a Rush tune. And I always liked Limelight. So I sat down and it was like, yeah. Yeah, that's it. It's very close. I have to relearn it. But I learned it for that video, and I didn't stick with it very long, just simply because I was worried about copyright strike. So yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But that's why I didn't play Jack. I see the comment. Jackal is a big festival band these days. It could be. I loved Jackal back in the day. I still like their music. They were just rock and roll. That's what they were. But you would think they would like someone. Even though this is a small channel, it's still someone's going to go, shh, I remember that band, and they go out and go, I'm going to get a Jackal album. I haven't heard them, or I'm going to download some Jackal songs. I haven't heard that stuff in a long time. It's that little light bulb that we forget about that band. There were so many great 80s bands that we kind of forget about. I was just watching a bunch of stuff on, what was that guy that we were just talking about? It's done. It's not really rock and roll. It's more rock pop. It's Huey Lewis and the News. I loved Huey Lewis and the News. We did 2 Huey Lewis songs in the band that I was in. And those songs got a good feedback from everywhere we played it. We never once said, "Oh my," I heard that. "Oh, Huey, they suck." It didn't matter if we were playing a biker bar or a prep bar. It didn't matter. Huey Lewis and the News went over no matter where you played it. That was just everyone knew the songs. And that's what people wanted to hear in the bar. They wanted something that they knew, that they could sing along with, that the girls would get up and dance with. If the girls got up and danced, then the guys had time to buy drinks and talk about the women up there dancing, and you get the whole point. If you don't get the girls to the bar, then the guys aren't coming. So that was just how it worked. Huey Lewis and the News got them up dancing. It was a good bar songs, at least in this area. But you don't hear anyone talking about Huey Lewis and the News anymore, other than that special that just come out the other week. But I completely forgot about them, you know. And I remembered they some great music. I'm trying to think of that one band. They kind of looked like I can see the name. I can think of the song. It was something about schoolgirls. They only had like one or two big hits, but the whole album was good. There's just so many bands like that, guys, that we used to play that really you don't hear too much about anymore. You know, you're laughing on that, Juke. Did I ever show you the back of my Peavey guitar? I think I brought it up. When you flip it over on the back, it still has the word no right here written on it. Okay? It used to say no lot lizards on the back of the guitar. And when you were in bars playing, I'd hit a harmonic and I'd flip the guitar over. And, you know, it upset some of the ladies, and then some of the ladies didn't really care. But I had no lot lizards on the back of my guitar for a long time. It still says no, but the tape is worn off on the back from it being over the years. So the only word left is says no on the back. I think I've shown that on the stream before. Brittany Fox. Oh my gosh, Devastator pulled that. That's Schoolgirls, wasn't it? Was that the name of the song? Something Schoolgirls, Brittany Fox. That was a good band. I mean, granted, it was a glam hair band, but they had good songs. But you don't hear anyone talk about Brittany Fox as a band. I don't really hear anyone talk about Nelson and Nelson. What wasn't it, Nelson and Nelson? I thought they were great. Was it Schoolgirls? Yeah, pretty sure it was Schoolgirls for Brittany Fox. But Nelson and Nelson, that was a niche group too. I think they claimed they were twin brothers or something. Blonde hair.
They were just called Nelson.
Oh, was it Nel? It was just called Nelson. Linnell said.
Well, yeah, I used to listen to them.
I thought Nelson was awesome. I think they were twin brothers or something. If you guys remember Nelson, but no one talks about Nelson anymore. I mean,
Birdman's gotta go.
oh, thanks Birdman for coming into the stream, buddy. Appreciate all your contributions and chatting and all that, man. It's what makes the stream work. But if someone can pull another band like that, and that truly had great songs, you just don't hear about it anymore. I mean, I do it too. We talk about, Eddie Van Halen, not taking anything away from Rush.
Steven said they were Ricky Nelson's sons.
Oh, really? Did not know that. I did not know that. I had no idea. Stefan, I did not know that. But they were a good band. There was just a ton of them. There was a band called, I don't even know if you can find a YouTube video on them. They were called Amazing Grace.
Niall said Striper, Devastator said Quiet Riot.
Well, Quiet Riot, without Quiet Riot, you wouldn't have had Randy Rhoads and Ozzy Osbourne. You wouldn't have. Because Quiet Riot is where he started. When you're talking about Quiet Riot, Randy Rhoads, that was Quiet Riot. I mean, that's what it was. Then he left Quiet Riot after, I think it was QR3 was the last, that was their downfall. They tried to dress up, tease the hair out, become more of an 80s hair band, and that just did not fit Quiet Riot. That album tanked. So he moved on, went to Ozzy Osbourne. I'm pretty sure that was the timeline. And I thought the QR3 album was a good album. Was it Quiet Riot? No. It had the vocal structure of Quiet Riot, but it did not sound like Quiet Riot.
Devastator said, I always loved Cinderella.
Yeah, Cinderella, that raspy voice from Cinderella, that they were awesome as well. I had both of their big albums that they produced. I thought Cinderella was awesome. But Quiet Riot was the band that really got me into really hard guitar, if that makes sense. I would say they were the ones that really made me first really notice how much punch a guitar had in the mix. Not taking anything away from Led Zeppelin and all the stuff that I listened to when I was really young, but Quiet Riot was the one that just made me, just get up and bang my head, as they're saying, bang your head. That was just a killer song. Yeah, exactly, killer voice. There were so many that no one really talks about now. A lot of bands just lost, in time, you know, that really didn't get a fair shake, in my opinion. Um, I thought, what was it, when I got one of his fake guitars here, um, Lynch, was it Lynch? From Dokken. Lynch Mob. Lynch Mob had one album. That's all they had. And I know they had more albums, guys, but they only had one album to really take off because they come out so late. It was like 90, 91, 92. The Seattle sound was already hitting, and that new sound was going to take over the market. Even though their second album and third album did okay, if that would have been released 2 years before, and they could have hit their second album when their first album come out, I think that Lynch Mob would have done far better than they did. They come out late in the metal scene, the hair metal scene, and that kind of killed them because the new sound was already there. The Seattle sound was already grabbing traction at the time, and people were migrating that direction. Yeah, Warrant, that was another good band. Tesla, there you go. I remember Tesla, Warrant. I saw Warrant live. Now, another band that he was talking about, Warrant, it was a Smurf band, and that's what I call a Smurf band is a band of pros that get together just to create a super band. And I'm trying to remember who that was. Um, I saw them live, and it was note for note to the album. Even the sound quality was note to note to the album. It blew my mind as a musician when I showed up in a noisy group that the PA system, the sound guy, and how they played. I mean, it wasn't like Milli Vanilli. They wasn't playing a backing track and faking it because they'd stop, introduce the band, do bass riffs. But when they were playing their song in between their stops, it was perfect. I'm trying to remember the name of the band. They were big. They were a Smurf band. They were all musicians from other groups. I can't. I'm not pulling the not. My little squirrel brain isn't getting it. There you go, Damn Yankees. I remember the Damn Yankees. They were good. There were so many good bands. We kind of don't have that. And I think it's a shame. I think YouTube and Patreon and these file sharing platforms have kind of taken it away from the big bands. Now, did those bands make money or did the labels take all their money? I don't know. I just know when there was labels, there were big concerts. And I think the big concerts have died because of Ticketmaster and all these just killing the artists. Now, I know some of that stuff just come up in Congress and they're supposed to regulate all that. Maybe that day will come back. now that Ticketmaster and all these companies can't knife the artists like they were doing for the last 15, 20 years. We'll have to see. But I think you don't see the big concerts like I saw in the early 90s, mid 90s, because of companies like Ticketmaster. For Warrant, I think the songs Uncle Tom's Cabins were my favorite. Yeah, Uncle Tom's Cabin and Cherry. Well, yeah, Cherry Pie. Yeah, Cherry Pie was a big hit for them. The '80s was a lot of new pushing the guitar to new limits. We wouldn't have a lot of the sounds that we have today without the '80s, and I think we're seeing that. Not that I'm really into it, but this new polyphia style of playing, and I'm sure they did not come up with the style. Okay, just like Eddie Van Halen didn't come up with hammer on, somebody was doing it before him. Polyphia made it popular, made it known. That is an extremely hard technique of guitar to play. I don't care who you are, to play that and play it right, that's difficult. And I know some of these guys, they're using editing and speeding up the software. They're kind of cheating. I don't think Polyphia is. I think those guys are actually playing it as written. But this new style of mixing hammer-ons and pull-offs and harmonics, it's next level playing. It truly is. I even attempt to play it because it's not only a style difference, it's a timing issue that I have. I'm sure if I practiced it, I could do some simple stuff that Polyphia does, but to really get that sound, I would have to relearn my muting, my pick attack, uh, pretty much everything. It's a completely different style of music. I would like to learn a little bit of it. I think I could incorporate some of that style into my playing. I just haven't done it. I'll be honest with you guys. Since I've started YouTube, it's helped me in a lot of ways on guitar, but it's also held me back a lot of ways on guitar. I don't really have the time to practice guitar like I did. My practice is playing in front of you guys. That's why you hear me make so many mistakes. This is pretty much my practice time. This is when I get to enjoy playing. And hopefully sometimes when I play, I make the little stupid faces and stuff. That's me going, yes, I love this instrument. There, I like the feel. I like the sound. This is my instrument. And sometimes I think it comes across that I just get lost. And I don't know if you guys like it or not like it, but for me, playing, even if it sounds bad, I'm still playing and I enjoy it. I just hope I play well enough to where you guys enjoy it. But this is pretty much my practice time now that with YouTube. Last week, you can ask Devastator, every spare moment I had was editing. This past week was work and juke stuff. So this week will be the exact same. Probably won't get a video out this coming week. It's just not going to happen. But we got 2 out in less than a week, so we did good on that. But it'll be live shows and we're doing what we're doing now. King's Diamond. Oh my gosh, that you're 100% right. That band changed music sounds as well. And another band was Halford, I think was his last name. You guys are going to shoot me for not knowing the name of the band. Halford. Alfred. He's bald now, but he's still rocking. The dude still got a set of pipes on him like you wouldn't believe. Still playing heavy rock. Priest, that's it. That band changed music too. If you listen to their first albums, they were heavier than their popular albums. They detuned a little bit to get more popular. Yeah, that dude can still sing like you would not believe. He's got to be in his late 70s. That dude, listen to his new stuff. That dude can freaking sing. At his age, to hit those notes and to be able to hop around and carry on stage for an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes, that's saying something. Yeah, but King Diamond, man, that was another band that really changed things. King Diamond, and that was a band that I really didn't listen too much to, but I knew about them. But if you pull King Diamond out of the mix, think of how many bands that listened to King Diamond that learned from that moved music a little further. I think King Diamond was one of those bands that did that. I think Judas Priest was one of those bands that other people kind of pulled from. Of course, Eddie Van Halen, you know. But King Diamond, Priest, they so much influence to music. There was a band back in the day called
Looks like
Laz Rocket. I don't know if I know those guys. But if we can find the band called Amazing Grace, there might be something on YouTube about them. I'm going to say 90, 91. They opened up for that Smurf band. That's why I bring them up. But I can't remember the name of the Smurf band that I went to go see. And those guys were phenomenal musicians. And they were the opening act. So they were the low tier act. And I forget who the second act was, but they were horrible. And then the main act come on. It was, who did Cherry Pie?
Warrant.
Was it Warrant?
Warrant did Cherry Pie.
Okay, who did 16? The song 16. Something 16. She's only, maybe it was 17. She's only 17. Who did that song? I think it was 17, not 16. Who did the song 17? Winger. Linnell pulled it, Winger. Okay, so Winger was the Smurf band that I saw, and Amazing Grace was the first opening act for Winger. When I saw Winger live, those guys, 100% professional, played the music right, was in time, none of them were drunk, the sound guy was on point, no matter where you went. Now granted, there was a little difference because of the way the loudspeakers was, but it didn't sound like poopy over here and good over here. There was good sound across the whole stadium, and no matter in the back where you were getting drinks, great sound. Sounded the guitar, the drums, everything sounded like the album. You could hear the vocals. That band was on point. The best production and sound quality I have ever heard from any band. Now, I don't know if they had their own sound people or if they were hired, but the night that I saw them, they were 100%. And that band, Amazing Grace, was the first act, and those guys were incredible.
Niall said the band that got females in the seats was Bon Jovi.
What's this?
Niall said the band that got females in seats was Bon Jovi.
Well, there was more. Bon Jovi, yes, but I think Poison did too. I think Poison brought the ladies to the seats as well.
Bret Michaels?
Yeah, Bret Michaels. Most definitely.
I think Skid Row did too.
Yep, Skid Row. I would say Skid Row did too. Their first album. Now, granted, their first album was detuned. The label said, you guys are just too hard. Detune it. That's why their first album did so well. Their second album, they went harder. It didn't do as well. The record label knew what was going to sell. That's why the first album sounds the way it does. So Skid Row packed them in on that first album. Loved the Zero, the Hero. If you like Marsh or Tucker, don't waste your dollars. Then just listen to the albums. Band is great. Singer's not so much. I didn't realize that. I've never seen anything of theirs live. The band was it Hank Sherman and Michael Denner. Who were they with, Jupe? Was that just the name of the artist, or did they form a band? Those names aren't ringing a bell, and you're probably going to smack me for not knowing. But
Kurt said he liked Ian Gillian with Black Sabbath.
Who was it?
Kurt said he liked Ian Gillian with Black Sabbath.
I don't know. The Black Sabbath era I liked the most was the Ronnie James Dio era. Now, some people fight me on that. But I think Children of the Corn, what was it, Something Hell, that those songs on that album with the Angels and their smoking with Dio on Black Sabbath, I think was probably one of the best Black Sabbath albums ever. I don't know which album that was called.
Jupe and Kurt both said Merciful Fate.
Merciful Fate.
I'm assuming that's who the Hank Sherman and Michael Denner.
Yeah, I don't know that one. I don't know that one.
Jerry said he saw Joan Jett last year.
Oh my gosh, Joan Jett was playing last year. Flock of Seagulls, yes. 100%. Heaven and Hell, yep. Heaven and Hell and Children of the Corn. Awesome songs, Jerry. Awesome songs. I mean, there was, maybe it's just me, but there was something about the tone of the guitar and the way Ronnie sung those songs with the bass and that just steady thump on the drums. It's not fast. It's just got a groove and a sound that it was just off the charts for its time. It still is. Those songs still kick butt today. They still have that sound.
Kurt said Merciful Fate is King Diamond's first band.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay, Kurt. Merciful Fate is King Diamond's first band. I did not know that. Yeah, Ozzy. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Ozzy. Ozzy was awesome. But as far as Black Sabbath is concerned, I think the Ronnie James Dio era was better. That's just how I think. I think Ozzy got better when Randy Rose joined. And everyone talks about Randy Rose, but it wasn't until his death and he got the real skinny guy. He's not skinny anymore. Who's the new guitar player, or was? Zakk Wylde. When Zakk Wylde got with Ozzy, that's when I think Ozzy really took off. Zakk Wylde brought a different style and a different... That's just my opinion. I think Zakk Wylde brought more to the table than Randy Rhoads. As far as what Ozzy needed, okay? Not saying one was better guitar player than the other, but Zakk Wylde's playing fit Ozzy Osbourne better than Randy Rhoads did.
Jerry said, I think you're referring to Children of the Sea.
Children of the Sea. That's how I was saying Children of the Corn. Ha!
That's a horror movie.
That's a horror movie, Liddell said. Children of the Sea. That's it. I'm sorry, guys. You got to remember, guys, I got a squirrel brain. And right there, I'm thinking there's a big difference between the sea and corn. Ha! Hey, there's Mike. Yeah, you're 100% right, Jerry. It's Children of the Sea. I kept saying Children of the Corn. Heaven and Hell and Children of the Sea. Those two songs, I mean, they were phenomenal. Oh, you're right, Kurt. Jakey Lee. I have to agree with you on that. Jakey Lee, I don't know what happened there with Ozzy and Jakey Lee, but that was, I think it was only one album Jakey Lee was with them. I'm not 100% sure, but I know what you're talking about. Yes, Jakey Lee, he definitely had the Ozzy thing down too.
Mike said Neon Nights.
Neon Lights.
Nights.
Nights. Honey, I need something to drink. My throat's killing me.
Want some tea?
Yeah, cup of tea or Mike, we're going back over the '80s on what we thought doesn't get talked about too much. What music was big that people have kind of forgotten that made massive changes in music at the time as it when it was released. We've hit a lot of pretty big names that some of them I'm not even aware. I'm going to go back and this Merciful before King Diamond. I'd never heard of that, so I'm going to go back and check that out. That might be a whole group of songs that I find awesome that I'm completely unaware of. So that's good for me. The Ultimate Sin. Yeah, exactly.
I gotta like lay down. I feel like I'm gonna.
We've been on quite a while.
Well, I mean, you can do your thing. I think if I lay down a little bit, I'll be alright.
I'm going to open up the window here a little bit so I can see a little more. Motley Crue, Devastator just put up. I think Motley Crue was great. When they went into court and the court forced them to detune their music, it changed them a little bit. I liked the pre-court Motley Crue. Before the court slapped them and said, look, you guys are getting a little too wild, you got to calm down. And some people say it really didn't change them, they were still wild. But if you listen to the prior albums, there's a difference. They were more raw on the first albums. They were more polished and refined after the court, if that makes sense. Yeah, Bark at the Moon. Just Jerry's. The Cure. Oh my gosh. That's a band that I haven't heard a song from in a long time now. It's just brought up. I don't know if I don't even know if I can. I know the band, but off the top of my head, I'm trying to remember a Cure song. And one's not coming to my head. Isn't that awful? Oh yes, Wasp. I wasn't a Wasp fan, but yes, I remember Wasp. And it's probably not anything against Wasp. I just wasn't. I think at that time I was listening to a lot of Iron Maiden. Listening to a lot of Iron Maiden. The original Chainsaw Band. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Mikey says Wasp. Elf. I don't know. Don't know if I know Elf. Well, you guys are on a roll now. 311 redid Love Song, which was the Cure track. Don't know that one either. Now you guys are pulling stuff way off track.
You don't know Guar?
Yeah. I don't know that one. See, that's why we got the chat. You guys can bring these up. But I am going to look up for that Merciful Fate. That's one that I am definitely, after the stream, I'm going to look up. I want to check that out. Ronnie James Dio Elf. I don't know that. I will have to type that in. I'm sure if it's Dio, I've heard it. I'm just not recognizing Elf.
You see what Jerry said?
See what Jerry said? Yeah, we got radios here. I got a shortwave radio. I've got a 10 meter radio and an 11 meter radio. Hey, everyone needs a good Yazoo radio. Anyone that likes heavier music, try Avatar. They blew us away. Is that a new band or an older band, Devastator? Okay, I'm going to write that down, Kurt. Best CD. And I'm going to check that out. I'm pretty sure I can get most of those songs free right off of YouTube and check them out.
Jerry said AM radio.
Oh no, we don't believe in. I prefer the 2 meter band or the 10 meter band, with the general license. I don't need a huge antenna on top of the roof. With the 2 meter and 10 meter band, I can keep it in my attic. That's back in my ham radio day, guys. I'm just picking. Just started in the 2000s. They're a Swedish band. I don't know them. I'm going to have to check those guys out. There was a lot of Swedish bands that were awesome. We remember Malmsteen, all that. Who was it? My favorite guitarist, Vandenberg. You know, I'm a big Vandenberg fan. I'm pretty sure he was Swedish.
Your son is on.
Oh, Nate, there's my son. Everybody put it together for my boy. What's up? Did you get your guitar? I sent you a message earlier, buddy. I didn't know if you got my message or not. I know you sent me a message saying you got your guitar. Question is, what do you think of it? I'm waiting to see what Nate says about his new guitar. So what do you think of it? Yeah, we're kind of up late. I don't know what time it is.
20 minutes after 11.
20 minutes after 11. It's not late for the old people yet. We still got it covered. You sent a text back. Okay. Well, here, guys, here's my phone. I'm going to check and see if Nate sent me I might have it on quiet. He's going to make me look at my phone to get the text message. See how he is? And it's stuck. Let's see what the Nate man said. He said, finally got a chance to play it a bit last night. I suck, but it looks pretty good. Seems to be in good shape to me. It does have a tiny bit of fret buzz, so it does need a bit of setup, but it looks super cool. Well, Nate, if I knew a good luthier and a setup guy, we could take it to him. But since I'm completely clueless, I don't know what you're going to do. Yeah, I got Jupe's guitar right now on the bench. But if you just need a setup, maybe next weekend or something. Like I said, it's got Firefly strings on it, so we need to put new strings on it. So pick you up a set of Super Slinkies or something, you know, or whatever string you want, bring it over. And we'll put, buy 2 sets. Because the first set we're going to destroy setting the intonation. Because you're loosening, tightening, loosening, tightening, loosening, tightening. So get 2 sets of strings for it, bring it over. We'll do a setup on it and get it set up for you. Well, if you got 7 days, just plug it in, make sure Make sure all your position switches work. Make sure that works. Make sure your volume works correctly. Make sure the tone works correctly. Okay? Make sure the bar threads in or pops in correctly. All right? And then check your tuning keys. Make sure that they're okay on the top. Now, since it has a locking nut, if you don't see a string tree across it, don't try to tighten the nut without the string tree. It'll strip the nut. But if you got a string tree and the angle's right, you can loosen the nut, check your tuners. Just give it a once over. You're not overly worried about the tuners on it. You bought, basically what you bought is a good neck and a good body. Hopefully the pickups are decent, and we'll fix everything else on it. I got tons of parts downstairs. We'll make something work on it. I never paid attention to Firefly's warranty. Yeah, whatever night. Nate, I usually get home. Linnell's always here, so it doesn't matter. But usually after 5, just drop it off and leave it here a couple days. We'll get to it. So if everyone just doesn't know, Nate in the chat, that's my son. And he can tell you, how old were you, Nathan, when we built you your guitar? We bought a guitar and we completely remanufactured a guitar for him. We put HHR copper, which was a Chevy color, put a Sickens color match on it with 3 coats of clear. We put guitar head pickups in it, an original Floyd Rose bridge in it. We did some custom cutaways here in the body where we cut way in and cleaned up the custom cutaways. Put a little bit more access on the back of the neck here. We routed out the guitar front and back because it had a string through bridge on it. And we put a German Floyd Rose bridge on the guitar. I'm pretty sure we changed the tuners, custom paint job. We went all out on it. I can't remember how long ago that was. It had to be at least 10 years ago. If Nate can remember. He'll have to bring that guitar over. I want to show people that guitar. I have a bond to that guitar. That guitar turned out so nice. We used, I can't remember the potentiometers we used, but we used guitar head pickups and a certain cap, and the guitar just sounds amazing. I just remember it sounding amazing. It was I don't think they were Hexbuckers. I think they're guitar head hot rodded PAFs that we put on it. Just a phenomenal sounding guitar. Oh, if you were, well, shoot, that was 15 years ago then when we did that guitar for you. I remember we had to custom make, because I don't really do too much finishing work, guys. And I remember we taped off an area with plastic, and we made a spray booth with fans and stuff to spray the guitar so the overspray didn't stick. So we made a custom spray booth to spray this guitar because he was adamant about this color, and he wanted that color. So we sanded the guitar down, reshaped the body, and ended up spraying it with this Chevy HHR copper. It turned out really good.
Niles has to go.
Okay, Niles. Thank you so much for coming to the group, man. It's good seeing you each live stream. It's nice to see people that's been here, multiple times coming back. So have a good week. Hopefully we'll see you Thursday night. If not, we'll see you next Saturday night. Get some rest, buddy. So yeah, Nate, that had to be some time ago since we've done that guitar. But I would like for you to bring it over. Excuse me, guys, my eyes getting me. we'd like to bring it over and show it to everyone in the chat. People will get a kick out of that. It started out life as a PV V-type, and there's not too much PV left on it. Like I said, we remanufactured the guitar, and it's a kick butt guitar. So he just bought a Firefly FFVX. It's like it's kind of reminds me of like the Dean clone is what he ended up picking up. So we might do a couple videos on that as well.
He said he played it for about an hour, but it made him want to play his bass, so he ended up bringing the bass out.
That's cool. Nothing wrong with playing the bass.
Mike just received a Firefly EVH Black Stealth.
EVH Black Stealth. It is excellent. You know, Mike, I thought about buying the blue one. You're talking about the FFMN EVH Black Stealth. Is that the one? I think that's the one you're talking about. They just restocked the FFMNs, and they had the black one with the kill switch, and then they had the blue one with the flame maple neck. I almost ordered that one. Almost, but I didn't. Because I still have my FFMN here. So I think that's the one you're talking about. The Black Stealth EVH. I haven't looked at their site. They were supposed to get some more of those in. But I haven't been there to check out to see if they did or not. Yeah, anytime, Nate. Now, I know you guys are a little behind me, so I'm looking at the chat and I've kind of moved on. But any weekend or any night through the week, Nate's fine. Just bring it over. Yeah, Devastator. It's good to have good memories. Memories of my son and I working on that guitar together 15 years ago. That's something that it's irreplaceable. We spent hours together sanding and working. He did a lot of work on that guitar. It wasn't just me. You can ask Nate. I always let him help. Always tried to get him engaged, working with his hands, learning, whatever Dad was doing, whether it was on the house or RC cars, RC planes, music, building, gardening, planting stuff. I always tried to get Nathan involved in it. Let him see that there's a lot of fun and creativity, using your hands, getting out and doing things. I always tried to do that for him. Hopefully I did. Hopefully I gave him, all the tools that he'll need to be productive. Hopefully. Pentagore, Mike, that sounds awesome. I don't know what we're at.
He's talking about Mike's EVH Black Stealth.
Yeah. So Mike, I was right. That's the FFMN. Yeah, I looked at the blue one, but I ended up not pulling the trigger on it. I thought about it. I thought about pulling the trigger on that one and building another fancy bridge like I built for that one right there. But this guitar really, plays awesome. My FFMN, I did a lot of work to it, but that guitar just plays awesome. And I'm sitting there going, well, I already have an FFMN. Is it really worth doing all that work all over again? Maybe the quality's gotten better and I won't have to do all the work that I did like on this one. And then I said, well, I've already got a good one. The only difference is the color, and mine doesn't have the flame maple neck. Mine has the standard neck. So I was like, I'll just keep the one I got. Maybe if I sell this one and that one comes back in stock, maybe I'll switch. But there's nothing wrong with the one I got. It rock and rolls. I bought 2 from Guitar Gardens, and they shipped both quick. Yeah, for me, Pentagore, it usually takes anywhere from 5 to 7 business days for a Firefly order to land at my door. That's usually what it takes. Firefly, I know Mike had a couple issues with some of his that he received, and I've had a couple issues with some that I've received. It seems like with that company, they either just nail it and it's just out of the park good, or it needs a little something, or it's horrible. They've done some really bad ones where, it was obvious that it was bad, but they still sent them out anyway. I will say, YouTubers complained about X, and I see the progression of the company. They have made changes in their product. I don't think they have the problems that they used to have as far as microphonic pickups. They've gotten better pickups in their guitars. They've improved the quality of their bridges on their 2-point bridges. Their tremolos, they did go to a Floyd Rose bridge, but something I saw on the FFMN, it uses the same bridge. It has the same bridge that this guitar has. It says Floyd Rose right on the little top right there. And I can already tell you this base plate and these screws are soft. I can tell you that. This tremolo here, if you do it softly, it'll stay in tune. But if you play this tremolo aggressively, it goes out of tune. So, could you clean the knife edges? Yes. I think this, if you took this bridge apart and you did my knife edge trick, you might be able to play this guitar for 1.5 years, 2 years before the knife edges start giving you problems again. But it is a softer metal. But at least they did go to a Floyd Rose bridge. And I'm pretty sure that that's what they did on the FFMN.
Mike said they changed the neck since the yellow FFMN.
Yes, they did change the neck on it. They did this to the neck. This one doesn't show as much, but you can see the flame neck on this one. So Firefly is doing more of a flame neck. Now the picture I saw on the FFMNs had a lot more flame than this neck has. Now granted, I know every piece of wood's different, but you can see there's quite a bit right here, and there's very little right here, and right here it's kind of, not much there. There's a little bit right here. So the picture showed a lot more flaming on the FFMN. And I mean, I'm not saying anything. I mean, for the price point, this is a $300 guitar. For a flame neck and this, it's a good buy. Nothing at all wrong with it. But I'm pretty sure that's the same bridge that they put in the new FFMN. I enjoyed his playing more than the band as a whole. Phenomenal player. Oh yeah, you're talking about, yeah, I get it. White Line. For me, it was about 4 days. The guitars were 50-50. The double neck was just okay. The earlier one I purchased, the FFLX, is excellent. Yeah, there's a manufacturer that they're using that I found that does the sandblasted finishes. Also, the back of the neck has the tilted plate. I have found that vendor for them builds a nice guitar for the money. It's solid. The one vendor that they had has been hit and miss. They did some tellies for them. They've also done some LPs for them, and they've been kind of hit and miss. But I haven't been ordering as many Fireflies as I did, let's say, a year ago. I kind of, like the FFMN, I had already kind of done it, and I figured, I almost did it this time because there's been enough time, like Mike said. They've changed the neck, they've changed the bridge. I'm pretty sure they've changed the pickups. So there's enough difference in that model now where I could actually order one and do a review on it. But it was just one of those things. I had the Fender, getting ready to do the Fender review, and so many other things up on the table. I think I had just gotten this guitar, this Firefly guitar, and I had just done a review on that one. And that was right at the time where I think I told everyone I didn't want to be the Firefly channel. I wanted to kind of dip my toes in a bunch of different things. So I kind of strayed away from it. I figured I was going to order a Jet, but I didn't. I didn't end up ordering the Jet. So your FFMN does not have a Floyd Rose branding on the top? That's strange. They seem to be going back and forth on it. They really need to kind of pick what they're going to go with. The Korean made Floyd Rose. See, this one's, I'm pretty sure this one's the China made Floyd Rose. This is the one under the Floyd Rose Special, as I understand it. I don't know. They confused me. The FFMN that I sent you, Mike, that was a hodgepodge. That was before they come out with the China Floyd Rose, because that actually had the Floyd Rose block and saddles on it, but I don't think those were Floyd Rose plates. I think that was kind of a mix of parts that they just kind of slapped together and put bridges on them. I don't think all that was Floyd Rose. Gotta hit the hay. Catch you all on the rebound. Good night, everybody. Good seeing you, Jupe. Like I said, you guys, you guys make the chat happen. So thanks for coming in and chatting with us and hanging out all night. And I will have to say it is getting late. On my end, guys, it's 11:42, and I've been drinking a lot. I've been talking since 8, so it's quite the long live stream. So I think we might have to wrap it up for tonight, guys. My throat is getting sore, but we covered a lot tonight. I mean, this is probably the most productive live stream this channel's ever had. We've kind of touched base on a little bit of everything, which is a good thing. Well, unless anyone's got something that is pressing and they got to get off their chest, I mean, you can still do it. Everyone knows the channel. I'm going to flip it over to the 5-minute chat window where everyone can kind of talk about their ending or whatever conversations that was going on in the chat, and we'll take it from there. But I'll see you guys next Thursday if you guys can make it. And again, I want to thank everyone that's come to the live stream. If you're not a subscriber, please go down and hit the subscription button. We're trying to get to 2,000. It seems to be eluding me. I go 185, 195, right at the 1,990 mark, and have been just bouncing back and forth. So we're really trying to hit 2,000 subscribers. If you would, you're not a subscriber, and you like what we do here, go down, hit the subscribe button. And if you would, guys, hit the like button on your way out. It does actually help the channel. But again, thanks so much for coming and hanging out and chatting. It's what makes all this worthwhile, guys. It really does. So we're going to go to the ending soon screen. Hopefully it's the right one. If it's the Thursday night one, I'll quickly switch it to the right one. But I'm pretty sure that this is the right one. All right, guys. Thank you so much.